Chapter 207, Ancient Divine Blood. Chapter 207, Ancient Divine Blood. Inside the Know. One divine mountain. Deep inside the mountain, 6 shining stone rooms showed up in front of Shuryen. Each one of the stone rooms was made of complete crystals, containing dense divine auras which were flowing out from the crystal walls like brooks. The profound crystal. The top profound crystal. The profound crystal was divided into low-grade, medium-grade, high and top grades. Top-grade profound crystals could only be found at the center of a crystal quarry. A fist-like top-grade profound crystal was quite rare in the endless sea, valuing equal to a soul-level treasure. But inside the divine mountains, the 6 stone rooms were all made of complete profound crystal. Appalling! Shuryen's eyes were shining with marvel. He was gazing at the 6 profound crystal stone room in awe. Dense natural aura kept diffusing out from the crystal walls. Just after one smell of it, Shuryen felt his profound chi grow heavier. OMG! Shuryen was astounded. In the 9 divine mountains, there are 54 stone rooms made up of complete profound crystal for the Yang family members to train in. Yangmu looked proud, giggling. The 9 mountains form a natural pattern that gathers the auras between the earth and the sky. They are the miracles of the endless sea after thousands of years of cultivation. We fought for hundreds of years and killed numerous people to obtain the 9 divine mountains. Training in the stone room for 1 day equals to 1 year of training outside. Yang Lao beamed. Every generation of Yang family protects the divine mountains, for they help us produce experts faster. As long as we own the 9 divine mountains, the Yang family will hold the dominant position in the endless sea. After 100 or 1,000 years, we Yang family will still dominate the endless sea. Shuryen nodded slightly. To train inside a stone room made of profound crystal, one didn't need to concentrate his profound chi. Instead, all one has to do is to breathe the divine aura here, refine it, and then one's profound chi would become much denser. The profound chi he could gather in a day equaled that of a man training for 1 year. At that moment, Shuryen finally knew why the Yang family members cultivated to the disaster and earth realms so easily. At elementary, nascent and human realms, one's progress was directly correlated to the speed of which one can concentrate his profound chi. As long as one's profound chi was dense enough, it was easy to advance to another realm. With the unique profound crystal-walled stone room, Yang family warriors found it easy to break through from elementary, nascent, and human realms. They could cross over the 3 realms easily. However, common warriors needed great effort to concentrate profound chi and to train little by little for 10 or more years to reach human realm. And finally, after their consciousness was strengthened, then they could reach disaster realm. Yang family warriors cultivated 10 times faster than others. Although disaster, earth, and nirvana realms demanded a lot on one's mind and wisdom, with enough profound chi, one's consciousness could break through. Which meant that after the disaster realm, Yang family warriors took great advantages in concentrating their profound chi. In the 54 stone rooms in the 9 divine mountains, 54 warriors could quickly concentrate their profound chi, and being further accompanied with all sorts of secret treasures of Yang family, even they would find it hard to slow down their path. The 9 divine mountains are the essence of our Yang family. Yang Lao smiled. The 9 divine mountains formed a natural pattern and absorbed the auras between the sky and the earth. There is always inexhaustible auras in the stone rooms. Xiaoyan, if only you had come back years earlier. You would now be higher than the 2nd sky of disaster realm. Yangmu giggled, but it's not too late. You, kid, are lucky and not too far behind. If you train hard, it will be easy for you to advance to another realm with all sorts of treasures in the Yang family. Where's Xia Xinyan? Shuryen took a deep breath, held his mood, and then asked, frowning. Inside there. Yangmu smiled. That gal normally wouldn't be allowed inside the room if were not for being the exception. Only direct offsprings and core ministers of the Yang family are allowed to enter the stone rooms. Xia Shenchuan was beyond the divine mountain, and he couldn't enter it either. As the master of the Xia family, he knew the law of the Yang family. The divine mountains was the forbidden area. Kid, go wake up Xia Xinyan now. Don't worry, we will deliver meals for you every day, including glossy Ganoderma, demon beast meat, and all sorts of great food, to make sure that you get enough nutrition. Yang Lao smiled. Shuryen nodded. Then I will enter now. Go now. The stone rooms are a forbidden area for others, but to us, they are merely rooms for training. Leave everything behind you. Send messages through that pipe, and we will arrange everything for you. Yang Lao introduced. Shuryen felt that he was meticulously taken care of. Here, the Yang family provided him the best place for practice. He could get whatever he wanted here. All he needed to do was to concentrate on training instead of on other, trivial things. Looking at the shining stone room, Shuryen knew why the Yang family was so powerful. Under Yang Lao and Yang Mu's gaze, Shuryen slowly walked into one of the crystal-walled stone room. At once, the door was closed from outside. Inside the crystal-walled stone room, the auras were flowing like a river, even in the air. One could smell and see it. Without doing anything, he could feel his profound chi was increasing little by little. It really is an optimal place for practice. The stone room was not quite spacious, about 20 square meters. At its center sat a crystal stone bed on which Xia Xinyan, in white clothing, was lying on her back. There were vague life fluctuations on her body, and white light was shining on her delicate smooth face. Long eyelashes covered her clear eyes. Inside her perfect body, wisps of profound chi were flowing in disorder. Without any consciousness, Xia Xinyan looked like a dead body even though she was still breathing. She didn't know that Shuryen was beside her. His consciousness silently flew into the blood vein ring. 7 days ago, you said that we could absorb the soul power in the soul-gathering pearl. Shuryen injected his spirit into the blood vein ring. Now I have time to absorb the soul power. You said the soul power can wake her up. Tell me what to do. Huh? It's so strange here. The ice-cold flame's message rippled out from the blood vein ring slowly. Although my power is sealed by the ring, I can still feel the dense natural energy here. It is the best place for you human warriors to train in. You are a lucky dog. How did you find it here? None of your business. Shuryen frowned. Tell me, what do I do to wake her up? Very simple. The ice-cold flame didn't hesitate. Just wipe away the white vein on the soul-gathering pearl, put both your fingers on it, and then you can feel pure soul power from it. This woman has lost her consciousness, so you have to wrap the soul power with your spirit power, and then inject it into her mind, nourishing her soul. Don't worry, it is easy to absorb the pure soul power. Her remaining soul will soon gather once it is nourished by the soul power. The ice-cold flame elaborated it to Shuryen. Then it became disappointed. I was sealed by the damn ring. I don't think I can still get my share of the soul power now. Remember our deal? You should keep my part for me. Got it. Shuryen's mouth quivered. Oh, by the way, you can drop 1 blood drop to the soul-gathering pearl, causing the soul power delivered to the woman to have your smell. After she has gathered her soul, she will have your smell inside her. Wherever she is, you will know the exact position. It does no harm to her. Not at all. Good. Shuryen nodded, and then nibbled his fingertip until a drop of crimson blood fell onto the soul-gathering pearl. Shining black light gushed out from the soul-gathering pearl. In an instant, the black light wrapped Shuryen all over. Meanwhile, the water-like auras in the crystal-walled stone room gushed toward the soul-gathering pearl crazily. Ah! Your blood. How could it be? The ice-cold flame sent a surprised message in haste. This is ancient divine blood. Chapter 208 Magic Effects of Divine Blood. Chapter 208 Magic Effects of Divine Blood. Sponsored by Fafa. Ancient Divine Blood. The message from ice-cold flame made Shuryen stunned. He stood there at a loss of what to do for a while. In the stone chamber adorned with crystal wall, rich auras crazily swarmed into the soul-gathering pearl continuously. Gradually, the soul-gathering pearl became sparkling and crystal clear, revolving on Shuryen's palm. A plume of visible crystal light, which could be observed with naked eye, revealed on the pearl's surface little by little. When a third of auras in the stone chamber disappeared into the soul-gathering pearl, the drop of Shuryen's blood became too weak to perceive. Not until this moment did the auras in the stone chamber stop flowing. Everything returned back to normal, except the glittering soul-gathering pearl. As so many auras went into soul-gathering pearl, it seemed wonderful changes happened on it. Its surface texture became more close-grained. What is ancient divine blood? I don't know either. Ice-cold flame delivered messages after a short silence. The extreme refining skill you practice was from a nutty blacksmith. I got the information of ancient divine blood from him as well. He obtained a page of an ancient incomplete book. It says in ancient times, there were 3 prime god kings whose blood had special effects. The blood of 3 god kings had different infinite magical effects, which was called divine blood. The blacksmith had no idea about the specific effect of their divine blood. But what he knew was once the divine blood falls into treasures and weapons, it would immediately cause mutations. A common one is driving the auras around and let them crazily get into the treasures and weapons. The descendants of the 3 god kings, as long as they have the divine blood inheritance, would have the similar magic effects. Once soul-gathering pearl has been refined by earth fire, the souls in it would form a pure soul power. What makes soul-gathering pearl loses the ability to absorb souls and becomes a container for spirit power. However, as you entered a drop of blood, the internal structure of soul-gathering pearl seemed quietly change after it absorbed the natural auras. Soul-gathering pearl showed signs of reviving now. Unfortunately, your blood is not pure. Only the essential blood can be called divine blood. If the soul-gathering pearl absorbs the genuine divine blood, it will be able to completely recover according to its characteristics. If you refine your blood into the divine blood, you can integrate your blood into the treasures and weapons according to the ancient incomplete book from the blacksmith. It can make any damaged treasures and weapons recover. Your divine blood can repair any treasures and weapons. Once you refine your blood into the divine blood, you can make soul-gathering pearl regain its ability of absorbing souls. The ice-cold flame explained slowly and instilled in Shuryen the knowledge of ancient divine blood it knew. Shuryen was dazed for a while, staring blankly at the soul-gathering pearl in his hand with a strange expression. Immortal martial spirit. The ancient divine blood should belong to immortal martial spirit. And immortal martial spirit could recover the human body. It was said when refined to the most esoteric realm, immortal martial spirit can recover the human body and come to life with merely 1 drop of essential blood. Obviously, the abnormality of the divine blood in the body was related to immortal martial spirit. But it was beyond his imagination that the blood could actually repair all the treasures and weapons and let the useless ones regain their effectiveness. This was rather a miraculous special effect. In Grace Mainland, most warriors who were born with a silver spoon have all kinds of treasures and weapons in their hands. Treasures and weapons are the lifeblood of warriors. When people engaged in battles, treasures and weapons may get damaged in bombardments and collisions, and then lose their effectiveness. Once treasures and weapons turned into junks, even the best blacksmiths can hardly get them repaired, but forge new ones. When his blood was refined into essential blood, he can inject it into treasures and weapons with arcane methods, which could make them recover in a short time. The effect like this is very extraordinary. Immortal blood. Immortal blood. Shuryen's eyes suddenly lighted up. He recalled that Emperor Yangqing had entered a drop of essential blood into Yang Hai's body, and even after several decades he could still get Yang Hai's location through that drop of immortal blood. Some time ago, Emperor Yangqing used 3 drops of immortal blood to calculate Shuryen's life and death, and then let Mo Duanhuan come to Cloud's Island to find him. Obviously, Emperor Yangqing had known how to refine the immortal blood and the magical effect of the immortal blood. Since thinking about this, Shuryen recollected himself. He glanced down at soul-gathering pearl and communicated with ice-cold flame. Got it. Now I begin to drive pure soul power in soul-gathering pearl to Xiaoyan soul. Well, final confirmation. There will be nothing wrong with 1 extra drop of my blood in soul-gathering pearl, right? Sure. Shuryen put his mind at ease finally. Looking at the beauty in the bed, Shuryen's eyes showed his sorrow. He gently helped her up and get on the stone bed at the same time, sitting cross-legged face to face with her. With soul-gathering pearl in one hand, Shiyan reached out the other and held her slim, cold hand, placing it on soul-gathering pearl. Slowly closing his eyes, Shiyan held his breath and concentrated his mind, then put a wisp of consciousness into soul-gathering pearl. The soul power babbled, like streams flowed gently in soul-gathering pearl. As soon as he put his consciousness into soul-gathering pearl, immediately he got a wonderful feeling, as if the soul power inside became his blood, the blood that can easily be controlled. According to the method Ice-Cold Flame said, he let his consciousness lead the soul power in soul-gathering pearl and tried to pull it out of the pearl. There was no difficulty. Under the guidance of his mental consciousness, a wisp of pure soul power, like a brand new bright filament, was taken out from soul-gathering pearl without stagnation and quietly dived into the Xia Xinyan cold palm. Cheerfully, Shiyan led this wisp of pure soul power to the brain area of Xia Xinyan's with his consciousness slowly. This wisp of soul power went along the meridian line of her arms, passed through her white slender neck, paused for a while, and then went into her brain area. Boom! When Shiyan's consciousness went into her brain area, Shiyan had a quake in mind. Dimly, he felt himself fell into a soul battleground. A variety of quick and forceful soul powers suddenly emerged in large numbers from her mind sea, full of hostility, and unexpectedly appeared like want to kill the wisp of Shiyan's consciousness. Shiyan's facial expression did not change. He had heard of the situation such as this from Ice-Cold Flame. He took back his consciousness from the mind sea of Xia Xinyan's with lightning-fast speed. Nevertheless, the pure soul power which led by his consciousness had easily got into Xia Xinyan's mind sea, owing to the guidance of his consciousness before. A strong soul wave came from Xia Xinyan's brain area all of a sudden. The soul wave was overwhelming with extremely violent rage, like a soul storm which can get any souls killed for a second. Calm and unhurried, Shiyan held soul-gathering pearl tightly and opened his mind to make his consciousness into an emptying situation. At this moment, Shiyan's soul seemed to be invisible. The soul storm from Xia Xinyan raged in the stone chamber for a while and gradually subsided. When Shiyan could not detect any abnormalities, he refined another wisp of spiritual consciousness into soul-gathering pearl by the same way, to bring out more soul power and bring into the Xia Xinyan's brain zone. Every time his consciousness fell into her brain zone, from her body would immediately come the violent soul storm from her body with instinctual conflict emotions. And at this time, Shiyan would not be fight it head-on. He would hide all the consciousness rapidly, even his own soul breath, in accordance with the method from Ice-Cold Flame. Until her soul counterattack disappeared, Shiyan began to bring out more soul powers and led into her brain zone again. Shiyan was not impatient, little by little, again and again. Gradually, he found that along with the constant injection of the soul power, the soul counterattack from Xia Xinyan had begun to reduce by degrees. A delighted smile appeared on his face quietly. He knew that this method from Ice-Cold Flame worked. With the injection of those pure soul powers, those scattered fragments of Xia Xinyan's consciousness had been gathered slowly. Xia Xinyan seemed to have a weak self-consciousness and seemed to know her situation gradually. Feeling relieved, Shiyan didn't dare to hesitate. He pulled out more pure soul powers into Xia Xinyan's mind sea. Time fled imperceptibly. Finally one day, when Shiyan took a wisp of soul power into her brain zone, but did not perceive her soul counterattacks. She did not instinctively let her soul power break out and make attacks on Shiyan. As the soul power was taken in, Xia Xinyan's consciousness showed signs of waking up. Meanwhile, her slender white hand that put on soul-gathering pearl unexpectedly grew a weak absorption power. Shiyan clearly felt that there was a soul power in soul-gathering pair. It flew out initiatively and slowly towards Xia Xinyan's arm, led by something. Shiyan suddenly opened his eyes. In front him, the beauty with rosy cheek was breathing evenly. Although she still tightly knitted her eyebrows, but at least she had expressions. She subconsciously absorbed the useful power for her soul recovery. Shiyan immediately came to this conclusion. In this way, he could rest assured knowing that the soul power that went into Xia Xinyan's brain zone these days had begun to play its due role. Done, ice-cold flame sent the message over initiatively. From now on, she has learned how to absorb the soul power inside Soul Gathering Pair on her own. You don't need to guide her anymore. Well, you can finally work on your own business. Now, I will tell you how to get consciousness mutation and turn it into soul consciousness through the absorption of the soul power. Then you can gather soul consciousness to form your sea of consciousness. Shi Yan's eyes suddenly lit up. Chapter 209, Formed the Consciousness Sea. Chapter 209, Forming the Sea of Consciousness. Sponsored by Fafa. In the mountains of the Yang family, Shi Yan and Xia Xinyan were sitting cross-legged face to face. Between them, the soul-gathering pearl was sending out martial spirit. Pure power of the soul flew along their arms, necks, to their brains. In soul-gathering pearl, the water-like power of the soul was reducing. Time flied. Suddenly, half of a year had passed. Shi Yan held his breath as his forehead started shining. Strong soul fluctuations came from his brain and then slowly started spreading through the entire stone chamber. It's the crucial moment. According to ice-cold flame saying, he had been absorbing the power of the soul-gathering pearl for half a year. With the injecting power of the soul, he felt himself full of spirit power. His spiritual sensitivity could even cover a radius of 100 miles. While injecting soul power, his spirit power grew several times, not reducing in speed until today. His spirit power increased by an extreme amount. Shi Yan never stopped focusing on condensing his spirit power. He combined 1,000 strings of spirit power into one. In his brain, the spirit power was like hundreds of thousands of thin strings. Under the control of his mind, these hundreds of thousands of spirit strings combined by 1,000. On this day, the spirit power in his mind had coalesced into several hundreds of strings after reorganizing. Under his control, several hundred strings of spirit power were injected into the soul stigma. Those strong spirit power went into a sudden contraction. Shi Yan clearly saw the sudden changes of the spirit power in his brain. The spirit power was flashing. Inside it were his life experiences. Drowning his mind into one part of his spirit power, secretly scrutinizing, just like watching a movie, he could find the scene of his past. The past seemed to be replayed. Those spirit power deeply imprinted in his life experience and seemed to be a microcosm of his life. In this process, his soul seemed to have sublimated, indulging in the spirit power. At one moment, lightning jumped out from the spirit power. The spirit power gradually became unclear. A strange energy fluctuation began to overflow from it. A mysterious change was happening quietly. Shi Yan suddenly felt like he owned countless eyes. He seemed to have more souls. Wonderful feelings came into the heart. Before he realized it, the spirit power suddenly combined together. In his brain, wisps of profound chi power gradually formed a sea of consciousness. The sea of consciousness. In his brain, wisps of soul consciousness combined, and then became a sea of consciousness about 1 square meter in size. He could see the little sea of consciousness and strong fluctuations in his mind. Among the sea of consciousness, his memories had deeply imprinted. Between the changes of mind, he could see every experience of his past life. As long as he wanted to see it, the sea of consciousness would become a screen, showing his past clearly. In the sea of consciousness, it has all his life as if was his soul sublimation. Gradually, his brain is no longer continued shining. Everything seemed to return to normal. Unknowingly, the soul-gathering pearl had stopped blinking and lost the soul power. The clear soul power formed by thousands of souls had went out after their absorption. Suddenly, Shi Yan opened his eyes. When his mind blinked, the sea of consciousness formed a strange wave. The soul spirit quickly spread in all directions. Wherever the soul consciousness passed, the mountains, the grass, demon beasts, palaces, a lot of Yang warriors, all kinds of scenes, occurred in sea of consciousness. The small sea of consciousness divided into numerous images. Each image corresponded to an outside world scene. Shi Yan was stunned with a strange expression on his face. Such a moment of the soul release and the sea of consciousness gave him a very wonderful understanding. The soul that he released was like intangible cameras or satellites that recorded all the scenes. Everything was revealed on it like on a screen. With a weird smile, Shuryen was sitting on the stone bed with his eyes shining. After the formation of his sea of consciousness, the martial practice had a magical effect, going against his expectation. He knew that the Nirvana Realm warriors could sense the surroundings. However, he felt that their feeling did not have such clarity. However, now he also had the sea of consciousness and soul consciousness. He was in an inexplicably happy mood. He believed that his present ability could make him God in the world where he was born. He stood still in his place, but he could still see everything miles away. That was not all. The sea of consciousness changed again and then suddenly attacked the crystal wall. In the air, the aura of the world formed into white mist. Obviously, it was under attack by some invisible force. In the faint white mist, there was a vacuum from which a bunch of power suddenly shot out. Puff! This wave of soul consciousness impact fell on top of that crystal wall, and the crystal wall conveyed a sound of clash. A glint of happiness flashed across Shuryen's eyes. As expected, since the soul consciousness had formed, he could now directly attack the enemy's soul. Soul consciousness was different from spirit power. Although it was invisible, it can still operate strong soul attacks. It could be soft as hair and hard as a steel needle. It had direct destructive power to the soul. Shuryen sat on the stone bed with smiles, using the power of soul consciousness and sea of consciousness to gain insight into the changes again and again. Congratulations, you formed the sea of consciousness. The ice-cold flame sent the message from the ring. However, you seem to have used all the power of the soul-gathering pearl. What about the share you promised me? Shuryen smiled bitterly. I am sorry. When I was in practice, I forgot about this. The power of souls ran out while I wasn't conscious of the fact. You said, I do not have to use much power of the soul, but why did I end up using all of it? Ice-cold flame thought for a moment. You have great potential. But you used more soul power than I imagined. You absorbed 60% of the soul power. Now, your sea of consciousness has expanded greatly. You do not only have the sea of consciousness, but also have a strong soul consciousness because you absorbed 60%. And your girl's level is higher than you. Her mind is quite strange, and since she absorbed 40%, I lost a lot. Well, you said my blood can make the soul-gathering pearl absorb souls again? Shuryen also felt a little embarrassed. Once the soul-gathering pearl is restored, I will continue to gather more soul power. Next time, I will share some power of the soul to you. Is that okay? Ice-cold flame was also helpless. All right, that's it. I hope you remember our agreement. That's all. Shuryen nodded and agreed immediately. Your woman, she's going to wake up, the ice-cold flame said. Shuryen felt happy and immediately stopped the communication with the ice-cold flame and then looked at Xia Xinyan. Her eyebrows slightly wrinkled as her long eyelashes slightly shook and her lips gently parted. She seemed to be waking up from the dream. Shuryen looked focused, even a little nervous. Gradually, the soul of Xia Xinyan fluctuated and then restored smoothly, causing her delicate face to become ruddy. Even at this moment, she was still elegant with a sternly inviolable elegance. Shuryen was looking at this beauty with soft eyes and a smiling mouth. After a long time, Xia Xinyan gently opened her eyes. Her bright eyes shone like the star, deep like the sea, while quietly staring at Shuryen. It's nice to see you again. Her mouth curled an elegant curvature as she said softly with a smile. Xinyan, you're fine. Shuryen took a deep breath. His face was rippling gentle smiles as he jumped down from the stone bed, reached out his hand, and then said, Now walk. Carefully make sure that there is nothing wrong. Tell me if you feel something is wrong. Xia Xinyan smiled, shook her head gently, but still obediently put her hand out to Shuryen, letting him pull her down from the stone bed. The perfect body walked a few steps in the stone room gracefully. With a smile on her beautiful face, she softly said, I'm okay. I have also advanced into the second sky of Earth Realm. Shuryen stunned at first, then immediately greeted, "Congratulations." Xia Xinyan nodded, "Our bet still works. Before you beat me, be quiet." Then she withdrew her hand held by Shuryen. She raised her eyebrows slightly, and then provoked him, "You have to work hard. If not, I will not promise you anything. Don't worry. I won't keep you waiting." Shuryen grinned with a confident face, "I will become better than you soon." Bragging. Xia Xinyan smiled. "Don't brag. Prove it as soon as possible." "I will." Chapter 210. You, really something. Chapter 210. You're really something. Sponsored by Terence Mykovsky. When Shuryen and Xia Xinyan came out from the cave, many warriors from Yang family were surprised, and their faces show their excitement. The news about the relationship between Shuryen and Xia Xinyan had already been spread out these days. Many old warriors from the Yang family knew that there is someone from the Xia family who has the same symptoms as Xia Xinyan. At that time, the head of the big three families in Kiarasi who gathered their wisdom failed to wake up that Xia warrior, and resulted the warrior died in advance. After Xia Shenchuan brought Xia Xinyan to the Immortal Island, he made trouble a few times, so the warriors from Yang family all knew that Xia Xinyan. The pride from the Xia family new generation also suffered from the same symptoms and probably is difficult to wake up. And now, Shuryen and Xia Xinyan came out side by side, which made everyone surprised and speechless. The problem that even can't be solved by the head from the big three families now was solved by Shuryen, which no one knows what method he used to make Xia Xinyan wake up. There are huge doubts in everyone's minds, and they looked sluggish at Shuryen. Soon, Yang Lao and Xia Shenchuan received the message and rushed over, gathering at Shuryen's side. Xia Shenchuan couldn't believe his own eyes. After staring at Xia Xinyan for a long time, his body gently trembling for a long time, and he nodded. Good. Finally you woke up." Grandpa Xia Xinyan smiled, said, "I'm fine. Yeah, I have broken through into the second sky of Earth realm." "What?" Xia Shenchuan shocked again and immediately used his spirit power to examine Xia Xinyan's body. Then he smiled and nodded. Good girl. I knew that you will be showered with blessings once you escape this disaster. Ha 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 ha. Brother Xia, now you are satisfied, right? Yang Lao smiled. Now you won't force this kid to take responsibility, right? He. Ha ha ha. Xia Shenchuan smiled and nodded. His eyes looked at Shuryen. Brat, you're really something. The problem that even your great-grandfather can't solve was solved by you. Good. Next time, if our family encounters this kind of trouble again, looks like we need your help to solve it. Ha ha ha. Good. Shuryen, stunned, shook his head and said, Don't. This time was merely luck, and also my secret treasure already gone. If there is a similar situation in next time, I also can't do anything. No, you definitely can solve it. Xian Shenchuan laughed. As long as you tell us the method, no matter what kind of secret treasure, the Xia family will refine it. Some of the secret treasure can't be refined out, which existent was naturally. Shuryen looks helpless. Anyway, if there is similar situation in the next time, don't rely on me. I also can't solve it. You brat. Xia Xinyan glared at him. Seems like a little angry. Why you always make an excuse? This time was merely luck. Shuryen smiled. It's not like I don't want to help. In fact, the secret treasure that I have already can't be used again. Forget it. Xia Shenchuan waved his hand and said, the Xia family shouldn't be so unfortunate. After going back, I will tell them to don't let something like this happen again. Xinyan, you just entered the second sky of the Earth realm, so you need to return. There is some martial skill that you need to learn as soon as possible, otherwise it may be bad for you. His word made Shuryen and Xia Xinyan startled. If I have known this earlier, I would have stayed in the stone room for some time. In the face of Xia Shenchuan, Shuryen blinked at Xia Xinyan. You say? Xia Xinyan's cheeks became red and dropped head down without saying anything. Who? Yang Lo poked and laughed as he looks very excited. Yang Mu, Yang Ming, and the others Yang family were also staring at those two, with a strange expression. Xia Shenchuan froze for a moment, and then his eyes were like a lighting, looking at Shi Yan and Xia Xinyan. Then he suddenly calmed down. In the Kiara Sea, Xia Xinyan was famous for her eyesight. She never put anyone who in same age with her in her eyes, and in her heart, there was only Xia family and cultivation. Over the years, the men who pursued Xia Xinyan were from of every corner in the Kiara Sea. Even the genius young men in the other sea also covered Xia Xinyan's beauty and often wandered to the Xia family just to get a glance of Xia Xinyan and catch her attention. However, no matter who, and no matter how outstanding he was, Xia Xinyan never thought about them. Even the leader of the new generations from the evil wonderland, Xia Kuei, admired her for many years, but there was never a slightest progress, which made him very unhappy. In the Kiara Sea, Xia Xinyan can be described as a misty cloud mountain, which can't be climbed, and only can be looked up from afar by the young men. Even Yang Ku and the others from Yang family were also obsessed with Xia Xinyan for some time, but didn't receive any attention, and at last, they gave up. Now, because the words from Shi Yan, the beauty face became blushed, which surprised everyone. Ahem ahem. Xia Shenchuan coughed, although he was slightly upset, but because Shi Yan helped her granddaughter to wake up, so he didn't show it, and only said, since the problem is solved, then we will leave now, come on. Wait a minute, Shi Yan suddenly slightly shouted. Brat, don't push your luck. Xia Shenchuan said, although you save her, but don't think you can have something between you two. My granddaughter is going to inherit the chair of the head of Xia family in the future, so there will be no chance of an affair, even if she is going to marry. The groom has to bear my family surname and the surname of baby born in the future, also Xia. Xia Xinyan's blushed face slowly faded, and in her eyes there is a trace of sadness and sorrow. From childhood, she was taught to don't have an affair. In the future, she was going to inherit the chair of the Xia family head. Even if she was going to have children, it will be arranged by the Xia family, and the groom needs to bear Xia surname. Because of this, she never thinks about love affair in the Kiara Sea, because she knows that her future isn't up to her to decide it. Yang Lao snorted. He was upset, but didn't say anything. Shi Yan also frowned. His eyes gradually became gloomy, and from Xia Xinyan's expression, he saw the helplessness and nothing can be done about her destiny. At this time, he knew that everything he said will be ignored. Not only it won't change Xia Shenchuan's original intention, instead it will only leave a bad impression in Xia Shenchuan's heart, but also will let Xia Xinyan having a difficult time, and may even affect the long friendly relations between Xia family and Yang family. He knew that if he wants to get Xia Xinyan, there is only one way. One day, Shi Yan will prove his ability and can take over the Xia family. So the entire Xia family can only overlook him. After took a deep breath, Shi Yan's face became normal and lightly smiled. Then he took out 3 nutrition pills that he won from Yang Lao, stepped forward to pass it to her, softly said, "These are 3 nutrition pills. Next time if you are forced to use the reincarnation martial spirit, these nutrition pills can protect you for 3 times." Xia Xinyan was a little happy as her bright eyes moved, and secretly looked at Xia Shenchuan. Xia Shenchuan looking at the sky, his mouth was slightly pulled a bit, and he looked indifferent, but he didn't stop her to accept those 3 nutrition pills. In the entire Kiara Sea, only Yang family can refine this nutrition pill. Even in the Yang family, this nutrition pill was very rare. Only the direct descendants from Yang family and Shura King have the qualification to hold it. The nutrition pill have an extremely good effect on the reincarnation martial spirit, which Xia Shenchuan also knew. If replaced with another pill, maybe Xia Shenchuan will scold and stop her. However, for nutrition pill, this was difficult to do so. Thank you. Xia Xinyan was tacit. She can glimpse an approval from Xia Shenchuan's expression, and then receive it and softly thanks. Take care. Shi Yan looked at her deeply, softly said, "Remember our promise." Xia Xinyan's face became blushed again, and bowed her head, softly said, "Yes." Let's go. Xia Shenchuan was upset again. He didn't want her granddaughter to be too close with Shi Yan, slightly snorting, and flew up as he held Xia Xinyan and then turned into a light and rushed into the clouds. Brat, you are really something. Yang Loa smiled and patted on Shi Yan's shoulder. If you really can get that girl, then that old ghost Xia will definitely cry with tearless grief. Ha ha ha. Good good, you have my old style. Xiao Yanzi this. Yang Mu threw a thumb as he was amazed too. Xia Xinyan, this girl in Kiara Sea, she is like a goddess. Many people covet her beauty, but she never blushed in front of anyone. You brat, you are really great. No wonder the great-grandpa think highly of you. Brother Yan, I support you. Yang Meng also cheered, smiled. Sister Xia is so beautiful. She is the most beautiful scenery in our Kiara Sea. This kind of beauty should be subdued by us. Ha ha ha, Brother Ko and the others were disappointing at that time. I also despised them. I didn't expect that Brother Yan is so great. You just came here and already hooked Sister Xia. You are really great. Hooked. Shi Yan smiled and shook his head. You little girl, stop talking nonsense. I was using my charm to conquer her. It was same. Anyway, the result is you guys can be together. Hee hee. Yang Meng laughed, and she appeared more and more like Shi Yan. The warriors from the Yang family on the side also exposed an admiring expression when they looked at Shi Yan, as if to be able to get Xia Xinyan's heart was greater than wake up Xia Xinyan by using the soul-gathering pearl. Shi Yan stunned. He didn't think that Xia Xinyan was like an inaccessible cloud mountain in Kiara Sea. The affair between him and Xia Xinyan meant that the cloud mountain already laid down a ladder to let him climb onto the peak. Brat, follow me. I will take you to see the demon beast that your great-grandfather wanted you to tame. Yang Lao suddenly shouted. Shi Yan startled. Chapter 211. Beast Ghost. Chapter 211. Beast Ghost. Shi Yan followed Yang Lao, heading for a valley between two holy mountains. When they were still some miles away, Shi Yan faintly felt a wave of ferocious and evil atmosphere from the valley. Above the valley, extremely strong demon energy and underworld dark energy came through unusual thick indigo and black clouds. The two totally different flavors singularly gathered together, and both seemed to be coming from the monster. Howl. As if it was aware that someone was approaching, a loud roar that can shake heaven and earth was heard from the valley all of a sudden. When the roar came out, varieties of captive demon beasts in the nearby valley prostrated on the ground in succession. They looked quite scared and didn't dare to straighten up. What a fierce thing. Yang Lao whispered with a helpless face. It's exhausting just to keep this demon beast. In only a year and a half, this demon beast had eaten nearly 100 demon beasts at level 3 or level 4. If we Yang family didn't have abundant financial resources, we can hardly afford to keep it. Shi Yan was aghast. Demon beasts at level 3 or level 4 were rather precious. But this thing was able to devour so many high-level demon beasts in only 1.5 years. It could be imagined that how fierce this demon beast was. It must be not easy to deal with. Its roar made even Yang Mu's double-headed dragon hesitated and remained stagnant with apparent fear. Double-headed dragon was the demon beast of level 6. In Yan family, the demon beast at this level was already hard enough to tame. It was even fiercer than Cyan Bloodbat. In the past, a whistle from double-headed dragon would let the demon beasts in this area shiver. It was not expected that there would be a demon beast that could make double-headed dragon stop his movements. Yang Mu had to get off from double-headed dragon and gave Shi Yan a bitter smile. Little Yan, as you can see, the thing is much harder to deal with. Alas, I really do not know what my grandpa is really thinking. Letting you to tame it really is a joke. Even I will tremble with terror when I meet that thing. Shi Yan became more surprised. Let's go. Don't let that thing look down on us. Yang Lao sneered. Since we, Yan family, can suppress it, we certainly have the way to deal with it. We've consumed so many resources on it. They must be paid back without doubt. Shi Yan slightly nodded with a cool face and said, I am really looking forward to it. Be careful with it. Otherwise, instead of taming it, you would be devoured by it. Yang Meng's little face was full of worries. It's really not the thing to be trifled with. You must be discreet. If not so, you actually might be eaten with carelessness. I was so frightened by its strong aura as to be unable to move last time, even I was not close to it yet. Howl. In the valley, the roar of the demon beast came again. It seemed to be extremely unhappy with humans approaching. Once it smelt of human scent, it immediately showed its ferocious energy. As long as general warriors heard its fierce roar, most of them would be tremble with terror and afraid to get close. Even Shi Yan was frowning and holding breath. He dared not let down guard. Under Yang Lao's leading, finally Shi Yan arrived at the place between the two mountains. The ground was littered with bones. The skeletons of bones were quite huge. They were obviously bones of demon beasts. In the valley, the ground was full of bones. At a glance, it was like a bone sea, heart-stirring. Crack! Treading on the bones, listening to cracking of bones, Shi Yan felt goosebumps. Strong demon energy and dark energy filled the sky above the valley. In the center of cyan dark energy and demon energy, a figure of demon beast was partly visible, bearing fangs, brandishing claws and screaming to the sky. The black chain as 12 arms thick, connecting with the two mountains, was winding around the body of the demon beast. Every time the demon beast swayed and struggled, violent sounds of metal collision would come out from the iron chain. Hoop, hoop, hoop. The demon beast swallowed and spat to the sky. Strong demon energy and dark energy filled in the sky suddenly disappeared in its body as sponge absorbed water. The faint figure suddenly revealed from the bones. Shi Yan had a look of horror on his face. This was a huge demon beast like dragon and python. It had a 10 meters long body, non-muscle wings, and a belly full of scales. Its body was covered with ferocious arm-length black thorns, flashing with black light. Its two huge talons were flickering sharp lights, seemed to be capable of destroying any invincible stronghold. Its talons whacked the hard stony ground, bombarding deep caves one by one. Every time a strike hit down, a huge boom would be heard for the valley. The most terrible thing was the demon beast's head. It was just a hideous ghost face. From its copper bell-like eyes, green light was emitted, bloodthirsty. On the general features of the devil, there were black thorns as well. They were like sharp swords stuck in its face. The demon beast with 10 meters body, as dragon and python, had a ferocious ghost face. Even at first glance, it would make people fear from the bottom of my heart. Noticing someone was close to itself, it suddenly blustered again. A very strong ferocious energy was spread out as a storm on its own axis. The ferocious energy was like the existent substance. Let any human souls tremble. Every place the ferocious energy arrives at, the bones nearby would actually be exploded. Both Yang Mu and Yang Meng could not help stepping back a few steps, with eyes blinking. Shi Yan changed countenance as well and refined soul consciousness, using the power of Sea of Consciousness to resist the ferocious energy from the demon beast. Finally, he managed to stand there and be rooted to the spot, instead stepping back with fear. Yang Lao, with a surprised face, stared at Shi Yan weirdly. Since the demon beast had been here, there were a lot of warriors from the Yang family who experienced how fierce it was. Almost every new warrior who arrived here would be frightened by it. They showed their fear, stepped back subconsciously, and dared not to look into its eyes. Both Yang Mu and Yang Meng were Earth Realm warriors. But again, under the fury of the demon beast, they still couldn't help to step back. But Shi Yan was standing motionless. It was abnormal. Shi Yan was a warrior at only Disaster Realm. What made him remain motionless under the ferocious energy and the terror gaze from the demon beast? Yang Lao couldn't figure out and increasingly felt that the saying from Empire Yangqing had evidences. Shi Yan's Sea of Consciousness waved. The consciousness was quietly spread one after another to resist the fury with soul consciousness power. On seeing Yang Mu and Yang Meng retreat a few steps back, he secretly felt surprised, but little rejoiced. He did realize that it was entirely because he successfully refined Sea of Consciousness that kept him away from fear. Sea of Consciousness had many magical effects. One of the simplest effects was leaning on the soul consciousness power and withstanding the soul shock caused by ferocious energy. Although Yang Mu and Yang Meng were Earth Realm warriors, they hadn't refined the Sea of Consciousness. So when they faced the ferocious energy from the demon beast, they couldn't defend themselves with soul consciousness. As their souls were exposed, their minds and consciousness would be frightened. That made them step backward. What the hell was that thing? Taking a deep breath, Shuryen asked in a low voice. Ghost beast. Yang Lao pondered for a moment and explained, it is said that it's the hybrid of the sky ghost from Underworld and the beast dragon from Demon Area. They both are demon beast at level 8. Whether in the Underworld or in the Demon Area, both of them are famous. Dark dwellers and demon dwellers can do nothing about them. This ghost beast was found at a magic place in the 4th Demon Area by your great-grandfather. It was just a cub, with only several hundred years old. But it has already been a demon beast at level 6. According to your great-grandfather's saying, the ugly thing is the hybrid of 2 level 8 demon beasts, with unlimited capacity of evolution. It is said that if an opportunity arrives, it can at least evolve to level 9 in the future. And with natural material and treasure, it could even become a level 10 demon beast. Shuryen was stunned. Normally, the demon beasts that could unceasingly evolve were extremely aggressive. The ones who could evolve into level 9 demon beasts were uncommon curiosities in all worlds. And the ones that were able to evolve to level 10 demon beasts were almost heard from legends. Few people had met them. The ghost beast not only had the ability of continuous evolution, but also could become a level 9 demon beast. What's more, it had the opportunity to become the sovereign demon beast at level 10. Shuryen had never met the demon beast at this level before, not even had heard of. No one knows how Sky Ghost from Underworld could appear in the 4th Demon Area and give birth to Ghost Beast with Beast Dragon of Demon Area. Yang Lao shook his head. Even your great-grandfather did not figure out how Sky Ghost could appear in Demon Area. And it is harder to know why Sky Ghost could mix with Beast Dragon. The name of Beast Ghost was given by your great-grandfather. It was said that the thing had never appeared in the past. It should be the rarest curiosity in the nature. Then how can we tame it? Shuryen murmured. Yang Lao was stupefied. He shook his head with a bitter smile. Don't ask me. I know nothing about it either. Your great-grandfather brought it back to Immortal Island and bounded it with 12 golden chains personally. He asked us to send a demon beast at level 3 or 4 to feed it every 7 days. And he said it should be you to tame Beast Ghost when you come to Immortal Island. Me? Shuryen was dumbfounded. My great-grandpa really thought too highly of me. Well, Yang Lao nodded with a strange face. All of us don't think you have the ability to tame Beast Ghost. But your great-grandfather said that only you would have karma with Beast Ghost. I don't know what basis your great-grandfather had, but he commanded that only you could be allowed to tame Beast Ghost. Don't understand his thoughts. Great-grandpa must be muddled. Yang Ming stuck out her tongue cutely. Brother Yan has never met it. And he has no experience. It's impossible for him to tame it. Never mind, Yang Lao thought for a while and said to Shuryen, stay here and try to tame it. Well, do remember that do not close to it in 100 meters away. 100 meters is its physical attack range. Since your great-grandfather said that, he must have his own reasons. Though I have many methods to tame demon beasts, but no one is suitable for this one. Your great-grandfather also had commanded me not to show you any skills of taming demon beasts. When he finished, he departed with Yang Ming and Yang Mu, leaving Shuryen alone to face Beast Ghost in worry. Chapter 212, The Change. Chapter 212, Accident. Inside the valley, Shuryen was facing the demon ghost alone and had no idea what to do with it. Demon beasts, like the demon ghost, were heterosexual. It had been sealed partly by King Yangqing, so it could only attack within 100 meters. The 100 meters range was the dangerous area besides the demon ghost. Once someone got close to it, the demon ghost would attack fiercely. Shuryen tried a lot of ways to get close to the 100-meter limit during the last 3 days. Whenever he entered the restricted area of 100 meters, this demon ghost would become violent. Its terrible flame almost destroyed Shuryen. There was no way to communicate with the demon ghost. He also tried to release his soul consciousness. However, when his soul consciousness tried to communicate with the demon ghost, he was overwhelmed by its terrible flame. This day, Shuryen tried to communicate with the demon ghost again. But when he began to condensate his soul consciousness, there came out an irritable, impatient aura from the demon ghost. With demon ghost as the center, a wave of fierce evil aura was released on the entire valley. The waves of fierce aura made the bones on the ground fly off towards Shi Yan like sharp swords. Fortunately, Shi Yan withdrew in time and luckily managed to escape this enormous attack. Shi Yan felt kind of slumped weakness. This ghost and demon hybrid was indeed extremely frightening. It was not only fierce, but also extremely offensive, and was always full of energy. It never rested, always staring at him. Before leaving, if Yang Lao hadn't told him that King Yangqing once said the demon ghost had great affinity with him, Shi Yan would have almost given up. Instead of leaving, Shi Yan chose to believe in the mysterious powers of King Yangqing and continued to find a way to communicate with the demon ghost. Time flied, and half a month passed at once. During this half-month, Shi Yan did not hurry to get close to the demon ghost and kept a safe distance from the demon ghost. He was not so anxious to get the demon ghost's recognition. In the valley, he sat down to understand the electric shift and the phantom shift. The Yang family was indeed rich and powerful. During this period, all kinds of delicious food was taken to Shi Yan constantly. Shi Yan's stomach was always filled with the food. Thousands-year ginseng, Polygonum multiflorum of hundreds of years, various demon beasts' bones and muscles were sent each and every day, which he could not have in the Shi family. The nutritional food made Shi Yan full of blood and flesh. Although Shi Yan didn't manage to succeed in taming the demon ghost, but he got enlightened in operating the electric shift after numerous trials and errors. Chew! Shi Yan's shadow shuttled in the valley like lightning. Between his two legs, profound chi exploded, providing formidable impact. Shi Yan's body was really flying like a lightning in the valley constantly. Boom, boom, boom. The explosion of profound chi in the legs derived strong impact. Under the force of impact, Shi Yan moved so quickly that one couldn't even see him by naked eyes. Ho! Ho! The noise of the double-headed dragon quietly came from outside the valley. After a while, Yang Mu came down from the double-headed dragon, laughing in front of Shi Yan. Xiao Yan, how's it? Shaking his head, Shi Yan said helplessly, I couldn't find a breakthrough. It isn't an easy thing to tame the demon ghost. That's for sure. Yang Mu nodded, this demon ghost is so fierce, and it is a hybrid of two formidable beasts. It is a miracle between the heaven and earth. If it is so easy to rein in, we would have taken this guy long time ago. Shi Yan was not discouraged at all. There is still time, anyway. I am not in a hurry. Since great-grandfather said the demon beast and I have something special, he must have his reasons. Great-grandfather. While mentioning King Yangqing, Yang Mu's eyes shone with a grudging smile. Shi Yan was quite sensitive, so from Yang Mu's subtle change of expression, he caught something unusual. He frowned quietly. What happened? Yang Mu smiled with a sigh. He wanted to say something, but he stopped. Seeing Yang Mu like this, Shi Yan got a bad feeling. Even since he knew Yang Mu, he had never saw him like this. In his eyes, Yang Mu was an arrogant person, filled with infinite confidence, as if nothing can make him worry. But now this strange Yang Mu gave Shi Yan a bad feeling immediately. What happened? Shi Yan said seriously. Great-grandfather might be in trouble. Yang Mu sighed. 7 days ago, we lost contact with great-grandfather. Uncle Emo and grandfather could not contact him through the secret method. It never happened before. Our Yang family has a secret method of communicating between the two worlds. He used to lead us through that secret method. We could also report to great-grandfather about everything that happened in the Kiara Sea. But now, Shi Yan's face slightly changed. Great-grandfather has godlike powers. Since he went to talk with the Demon King Bo Sun by himself, he must be full of confidence. How did that happen? I don't know. Yang Mu shook his head and squeezed out a smile. Maybe we will be able to contact him soon. Haha, Xiao Yan, don't worry. Stay here and keep trying to tame the demon ghost. I believe you can find the solution one day and communicate with the demon ghost. Well, I just came to take a look at you, nothing else. I will go now. Yang Wu shook his hand leisurely, mounted on the double-headed dragon, and left the valley quickly. Shi Yan's heart was overshadowed, as he felt something amiss. But he believed that King Yangqing had the ability to leave the demon area. Before arriving the Endless Sea, he knew this nominal great-grandfather a little through the description from Xiao Hani and Xia Xinyan. From those people, Shi Yan realized that King Yangqing was one of the most legendary men in the Endless Sea. King Yangqing's performance later also proved Shi Yan's suspect. Such a powerful man must have a plan B. He would never get himself into a difficult situation. He believed that King Yangqing would be fine. Shi Yan continued to stay in the valley. He was practicing the electric shift and thinking about how to communicate with the demon ghost. Like this, another 2 months passed. Finally, Shi Yan's electricity shift got a breakthrough. After this period of penance, the profound qi between his legs became much stronger. Naturally, once Shi Yan casted out the electric shift, his speed suddenly surged, which also made Shi Yan joyful. Triggering the electric shift with all his might, Shi Yan ran at a lightning speed that was 7 times quicker than normal. He was shuttling in the valley like thunder. This day, Shi Yan thought for a long time and finally realized he could use the electric shift in the demon ghost's taboo area. He was ready to take a risk to make sure that he can approach the demon ghost and retreat back safely. Taking a deep breath, Shi Yan slowly operated the profound qi in his body and forced it into his legs. Boom, boom, boom. From the intersections of his legs came a sudden, fierce explosion. The explosion passed through his joints as he heard sounds from his leg bones. Suddenly, a figure enshrouded in lightning moved toward the demon ghost. Prostrating on the floor, the demon ghost squinted his green eyes and perceived Shi Yan getting near him immediately. Howl! The demon ghost roared, as its 10-meter-long body stood up quickly and its evil power broke out directly. Just like a wave, the fierce flame covered 100-meter area instantly. The demon ghost's huge body acted as its claw and thorns shone oddly. The dark energy and demon energy came out of it and spread directly till it covered the whole area. In the forbidden area of the demon ghost, Shi Yan sank into the mud and was enveloped by the flame of the demon ghost thoroughly. Overwhelming fierce flame like a substance was covering his body, which almost drowned Shi Yan. What's the matter? The ice-cold flame suddenly sent a message. This demon beast is so powerful that it can control the dark energy and demon energy. It's really awful. The ice-cold flame in the blood vein ring was aware of the awful energy, so it talked to Shi Yan on its own. Facing the oppression of the fierce flame, Shi Yan's body was like being directly imprisoned and he could not move. The flame from the demon ghost formed the soul attack and went to the Shi Yan's head directly. The sea of consciousness stirred waves, and plumes of soul consciousness were released from it. In an instant, they formed layers of soul consciousness and tried to resist the demon ghost's ferocious attacks. Shi Yan was shocked at how difficult it became to leave this area. Bravo! From inside the ring came ice-cold Flame's shocked voice. This monster beast has potential. I've not seen such a great power before. How do you get this guy? Shi Yan tried hard to resist the soul attack from the demon ghost. It was very demanding. His body was going down like a mountain, collapsing in the dark and demon energy. He was 50 meters away from the demon ghost. The demon ghost never attacked physically, but its fierce aura made Shi Yan shudder. He was like a leaf in a storm, and that could be destroyed any time. What? The ice-cold flame screamed again. It seemed to have found something. It shouted in a sudden surprise, the blood vein ring released me. It wants me to help you? The next moment, Shi Yan suddenly felt extremely cold breath gushing into the blood vein ring. Just in an instant, Shi Yan's whole body froze like an ice sculpture. The ice-cold flame's power covered his body directly. The demon ghost's ferocious attacks couldn't defeat Shi Yan under the intervene of the ice-cold flame. Shi Yan felt slightly relieved. Howl! The demon ghost moved suddenly. Accompanied by a roar, the chains came out with a loud noise. Shi Yan saw the demon ghost's huge body fell straight down to him like a dark cloud. There were dark clouds in the sky. Shi Yan's face changed and he felt his soul locked on by the demon ghost. He had a frustrated feeling that wherever he fled he would be killed. Chapter 213, The Ancient Gate of Heaven. Chapter 213, The Ancient Gate of Heaven. Marvelous. The ice-cold flame sent an urgent message, be careful. Leave right now. This guy's soul has no emotions, but only relentless murder. It will ruin everything, every soul. It is not a common demonic beast. Shuryen was stunned. Without hesitation, he triggered all his energy and moved his profound chi into his legs, initiating lightning. A flash of lightning crossed the valley. It landed 100 meters beyond the demon ghost. Howl, howl, howl. The demon ghost bellowed crazily, while its vicious green eyes were gazing at Shuryen. It was bounded by the 12 chains, standing 20 meters away in front of Shuryen. Thunder came from the 2 divine mountains. The 12 chains connecting them were being stretched. It was merely a level 6 demon beast, but the power was earth-shaking. Slowly breathing, Shuryen looked calm. As he grinned to the demon ghost, well, you are malicious enough. He hadn't thought that he will be restrained by the demon ghost as soon as he approached it. If the ice-cold flame hadn't come to his rescue, he could have been killed by the demon ghost. Failed again. This demon beast is very special. From the blood vein ring came the ice-cold flame's message. Meanwhile, the ice-cold flame's aura got weaker and weaker, and the blood vein ring restrained the ice-cold flame more. It is said that it's interbred by the dark area ghost and the demon area demon dragon. Shuryen told the story about the demon dragon to the ice-cold flame. According to my grandpa, this demon beast shouldn't have existed, because the dark area and the demon area are not connected. This demon ghost originated magically. Bred by the dark area ghost and the demon area dragon? The ice-cold flame was surprised. Are you sure? He did say so. The ice-cold flame went silent. After a long time, the ice-cold flame messaged again, you've got in trouble. Shuryen's expression changed as he asked, what does it mean? He knew although the ice-cold flame was not human being, it knew better than most experts about this world. This guy was there for who knows how many years, possessing many ancient experts' memories. It knew many secrets of the Grace mainland, and also in the dark area and the demon area. It must have found something since it said so. The demon ghost's appearance means someone dangerous broke the path between the dark area and the demon area. Once the path was broken, the space shield would be unstable, and there will be a lot of cracks on the space of the Grace mainland. Which means the dark dwellers and the demon dwellers will ally to strike this world again. Shuryen was astounded. The dark area and the demon area have been long jealous of the wealth here, which is quite rare in their worlds. Once the dark dwellers and the demon dwellers obtain what they want on the Grace mainland, they will expand quickly. Then your world will be in deep trouble. The break of the path between the dark area and the demon area is a sign indicating their cooperation. They are going to enter the Grace mainland and start slaughter. What? Shuryen was shocked. How old is the demon ghost? Said to be hundreds of years. Recently, are there any demon dwellers coming to this world from the connection point of the space? Yes. That's a disaster. The ice-cold flame was helpless. The path between the dark area and the demon area takes about 500 years to make crack in the space. The dark dwellers and the demon dwellers need to invest tremendously during these 500 years to stabilize the path between the dark area and the demon area, then influence the space joints in the Grace mainland. Once some demon dwellers appeared from the pace joints, and if there are even high-ranked demon dwellers, then it means they come prepared. What's next then? The dark area and our world don't have space joints. The dark area and the gate of heaven of our world are single-directed. We can only enter the dark area through the gate of heaven, but the dark dwellers cannot enter the Grace mainland through the gate of heaven. It means it's hard for the dark dwellers to enter our world. However, once the path between the dark area and the demon area is connected, the dark dwellers can enter our world through the space joints. And then? Then someday you will find a lot of high-ranked demon dwellers and dark dwellers popping up here. At that time, all the warriors in the endless sea will be the prey of the dark dwellers and the demon dwellers. Maybe in a short time, this place will be slaughtered, and you won't find a single human being anymore. Why didn't the demon dwellers enter this world through the gate of heaven? God realm demon dwellers can't really pass the gate of heaven. There is the rule. If demon realm demon dwellers could easily enter the gate of heaven, it would become a wasteland long ago. The second and third demon area was sealed because there were true god demon dwellers who abandoned the rule of the gate of heaven. Shuryen was totally shocked by what he had heard. He never suspected that the demon dwellers were so terrifying. According to the ice-cold flame, the second and the third demon area demon dwellers are more vicious. So the gate of heaven was destroyed to prevent them. Who created the gate of heaven? Warriors of God realms. Warriors of God realms. Yes, in the ancient times, the demon dwellers, the dark dwellers, and other tribes in different worlds got along well with each other. The gate of heaven exists to let the tribes communicate. Since there was limited resources in every world, they needed to exchange their materials for training. In the ancient times, there was an area called the Connection Sea, where there were many gates of heaven leading to all worlds. The Connection Sea was the center of all worlds and was on the Grace mainland. However, from a certain time, all the tribes began to fight. Because of the gates of heaven, those stronger tribes could enter other worlds and slaughter the people there. The battles among the tribes were fast and easy because of the gates of heaven. Many minor tribes became extinct. The Grace mainland, the demon area, and the dark area were merely 3 worlds then. After battles of thousands of years, many tribes disappeared. Till one day, the experts of all tribes noticed that the existence of the gate of heaven was dangerous. So they set all sorts of rules to prevent battles when creating the gate of heaven. Some tribes lost a lot in the battles, so they had to destroy the gate of heaven to cut their connection with outside world. In that age, many gates of heaven disappeared, and many tribes went out of contact from us. There were a few gates of heaven later, but they were all with lots of rules. The dark area is a vicious area. Their gate of heaven prevents other tribes from invading. And the demon area is also overwhelming strong, so their gate of heaven stopped God realm demon dwellers too. Once the gate is broken, there will be a disaster. As it knew many things related to history, the ice-cold flame told everything it knew to Shuryen. After the ice-cold flame finished, Shuryen realized there would be a storm in the endless sea. Shuryen. Yang Lao showed up secretly with a serious face. After he came, he glanced the demon ghost and deeply looked at Shuryen and said abruptly, "Stop it if you can't conquer the demon ghost in a month. Don't waste your time. I will take you to a safe place." Shuryen's expression changed. What happened? No matter in the Kiara Sea or the Endless Sea, the Yang family was the greatest power. And the Immortal Island was their home, along with the divine mountains here. What kind of disaster it was that made the Yang family leave the Immortal Island? 3 days ago, the Demon King Bo's son's bone shadow appeared in different sea areas. He said your great-grandpa was trapped under the Demon Seal Formation in the 4th demon area. Even if he has the immortal treasure, he would still be tortured to death. Yang Lao looked rigid. What? Bo's son recovered. Shuryen was freaked out. The demon seal pattern was not from Demon King Bo Soon, but another Demon King Qiyan. Bo's son and Qiyan became allies. Yang Lao looked worried. The demon dwellers are invading this world? Shuryen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. The demon dwellers haven't arrived. Yang Lao shook his head, but the great powers in other sea areas are sailing toward the Kiara Sea secretly now. Those survived demon dwellers found the heads of those great powers and made some agreements with them to exchange materials with this world, on the condition, slaughter the Yang family. Chapter 214, We Belong Together. Chapter 214, We Belong Together. I just got some information about the ancient gates of heaven. Shuryen's expression was sullen. He explained all the information he got from the ice-cold flame to Yang Lao. The information that the ice-cold flame knew were extremely old. Old enough that even some of the warriors now can hardly notice them on ancient sites. Even Yang Lao had never heard of these information relayed from the ice-cold flame. When Shuryen clarified the situation, Yang Lao was extremely shocked and stayed silent for a long time. Where did you get these information from? Can you confirm that they are true? Yang Lao took in a deep breath. His expression was extremely serious. From the ice-cold flame. Yan nodded. In its long life, it once made a lot of contact with many God Realm masters from ancient times. These information are all from the memories of those God Realm masters. I think there won't be any mistake. In the fourth demon area, the two demon kings Yan and Bo Sun seem to always be unfriendly with each other. If your information is true, then these two demon kings probably have been plotting against our Yang family for ages. If a passageway connecting the underworld and the demon area really takes hundreds of years to connect, then these two demon kings probably started to secretly plot against us hundreds of years ago. Light flashed in Yang Lao's eyes. In that case, Bo Sun came to capture Xiao Hani. His motive should be to force your great-grandpa to seek him alone. Then he collaborated with Qi Yan and used the demon seal formation to deal with your great-grandpa. To deal with our Yang family, these two demon kings sure planned deliberately. Even you didn't know about the situation of the connection between the underworld and the demon area? Yan was stunned. Shaking his head, Yang Lao said, maybe the last time demon dwellers and dark dwellers collaborated was too far from now. So far that no one knew of the secret. I didn't know. The rest of the leaders of the forces in the Endless Sea should not have known either. AI, this thing is too troublesome now. I think even if the leaders of those forces hear us talk about the situation in this, they wouldn't believe it. Instead, they will think our Yang family is tricking them on purpose. Yan was silent. He knew that Yang Lao's prediction might come true. In front of this big change that might sweep through the entire Endless Sea, he, who was only in the disaster realm, with no reputation of his name, can make no influence at all. He also knew that he as of now cannot bring much help to the Yang family. It's all right. After getting this information, at least we know what the demon dweller and the dark dwellers plan to do. Being able to know their next moves, now we can make early preparations. Yang Lao patted Yan's shoulder and comforted him. Don't worry too much. The Yang family is able to stand in the Endless Sea for many years without falling. Naturally, we have things that back us up. In the worst-case scenario, we can just temporarily retreat from this place. When those people can see through the situation, then we'll fight our way back. It's not a big deal to lose our Yang family's things. We will take them back some time. Yan knew that he was talking about the magical mountains on Immortal Island. Don't think about it too much. Continue to stay here and think of a way to tame the demon ghost. Your great-grandpa said you can do it. Then I believe you definitely can. In this time, I will prepare an emergency plan. When things go wrong, I will arrange you to a safe place. All right. I'll be going now. You should be diligent yourself. Remember, our Yang family won't fall. Your generation is all quite well. In the future, our Yang family is still going to stand in the Endless Sea. This small setback won't beat us down. I understand. After Yang Lao left, Yan temporarily stopped cultivating the electric shift. He crossed his legs and sat down in the valley, just intensely staring at Demon Ghost. Time was running out. In a month, if he can't tame Demon Ghost, then he might not see Demon Ghost again and lose this ultimate opportunity. Do you know if there is a way to tame this demon beast? Yan asked the ice-cold flame. To tame a demon beast, usually you have to have a stronger capability than them. Only with overwhelming power, you can beat them until they are afraid of you and make them tame. The ice-cold flame came with a reply quickly, but your power obviously can't suppress this level 6 demon beast hybrid. Under this situation, you can only use soul communication. Or if the power on your body makes the demon beast feel approachable, making it feel like you and it are the same type of creature, then it might grow close with you. Soul communication? Similar power types? Yan frowned deeply. Why would Yang Qingdi think that he is destined with this demon ghost? Why would we think that only he can get the affection of the demon ghost? In all of this, there had to be some secret he didn't know about. Yan felt like he seemed to have gotten a grasp on something, but thinking of it closely, in this time he almost used every possible method, but Demon Ghost just won't comply. Was there anything he hadn't used in him? A similar power type? In his own body, is there a power that was unused when taming the Demon Ghost? Suddenly a light flashed in his head, and Yan abruptly stood up. Negative energies. Yan's eyes suddenly brightened. He looked at the demon ghost without blinking and seemed to have grasped the crucial point. In these days, he kept trying to use soul communication with the demon ghost to try to get closer with it. He tried many different methods, but he had never really used the negative energies inside him. On the demon ghost, there was constantly a violent, bloodthirsty, cruel presence. This was the absolute evil power. These powers were obviously not from the right path. It was completely different from the presence of other creatures. In the demon ghost's heart, it seemed to have been filled with hate and devastation towards people. The evil presence and the negative powers flowing out of his own meridians, were they extremely similar in type? What have you thought of? The ice-cold flame was very surprised. Did you find a way? Yan didn't answer. His expression was cold as he walked step by step towards the demon ghost. Roar! The demon ghost roared again. A flow of hurricane-like fierce power suddenly swept towards all directions from it. On its creepy ghost face, its bright green evil eyes kept watching Yan. With the blast of the fierce power, the evil power that went straight for the soul also quietly went towards Yan's area. Once Yan steps into the forbidden area, the evil power from the demon ghost will completely burst out. Dude, you're going in again? You have to be careful this time. My power is sealed by your stupid ring again, the ice-cold flame reminded him. Yan already stopped communicating with it. He stepped towards the demon ghost, and soon he was going to come close to the 100-meter forbidden area. He could already feel the dark energy and demon energy stirring in the evil flames. These two powers that were not from this dimension flared in the evil flame, bringing the demon ghost's evil soul consciousness. It was like hurricanes and giant tides that were extremely fierce and violent. Roar! The demon ghost roared again. It seemed to think that Yan was challenging its patience. Its 10-meter-long body suddenly stood up violently, and the metal chains wrapping around its body made loud clashing sounds. Yan suddenly stirred the negative powers in his meridians. In just a mere moment, negative emotions like violence, madness, hate, and devastation immediately flee Yan's mind. Inside his body, the negative powers surged, forming into a light white mist that was cold and evil. The demon ghost suddenly became quiet. 110 meters away, the demon ghost that was always rampaging suddenly displayed a trace of confusion in its green evil eyes for the first time. It just looked at Yan and actually didn't move its body to try to escape from the chains again. The vibrant green eyes that should have been filled with bloodthirsty murderous thoughts at this moment became extremely focused. It seemed to be thinking, hesitating, and deciding about something. Yan's body did not stop. He just kept stirring the negative powers, using the negative powers to spread around his entire body, and stepped into the demon ghost's forbidden area. 1 foot in. There seemed to be hesitation in the demon ghost's green yes. The evil and violent negative energies slowly spread out and actually surged towards the demon ghost. At the same time, the overflowing negative emotions in his head, combined with wisps of soul consciousness, formed into extremely evil conscious thoughts, also flew towards the demon ghost at the same time. The conscious thoughts this time were completely different from other times. Inside it brought negative emotions, making Yan almost go insane, giving him a thought that wanted to destroy everything and slaughter all the creatures in the world. Normally, when these thoughts appear in Yan's mind, Yan wouldn't be far from madness. Normally, he would keep suppressing it to sustain the clarity in his mind. However, at this moment, he did not hold back at all. He forwardly let go his sense of reason and let those negative emotions take charge. Yan's eyes slowly turned red, as if blood was dripping out of them. He seemed like an evil creature that crawled out of the depths of hell, with a body full of devastating insane powers. The demon ghost suddenly became quiet. The evil presence that surrounded it suddenly ceased like tides. It just blankly stared at Yan. Those evil green eyes that were supposed to be filled with bloodthirst actually showed a joyful emotion. Yan stepped towards it. His eyes were bright red and was slowly losing his sanity. The demon ghost just happily looked at him, All his hostility was completely gone. It seemed to be waiting, looking forward to something. Hoo. The demon ghost's breathing was heavy. It actually seemed a little ecstatic. The enormous body that originally stood up slowly laid down on the ground. Shuryen arrived in front of the demon ghost. Its back that was covered with sharp spikes suddenly lightly shook in one area. It could be seen that the spikes in that area slowly contracted and shrank back into its body. On the demon ghost's back, there was suddenly a blotch of flat ground that could fit exactly one person. Shuryen leaped up and flew towards that area, then steadily crossed his legs to sit down. He grinned and laughed. We belong together. Boom, boom, boom. The 12 chains binding the demon ghost's entire body suddenly shattered. The constraints that Yang Qingdi put on the demon ghost were completely gone. Roar! The demon ghost let out a carefree roar. Its enormous body shook and flew into the sky with flared teeth and open claws. It flew joyfully in the valley. A person and a beast fit seamlessly. Chapter 215. 3 Choices. Chapter 215. 3 Choices. When Shuryen was riding from the valley to the Yang Palace, he was quite surprised. Those palaces were full of young warriors. Looking from top, it was like an army of ants, roughly. Maybe there were nearly 10,000 people. Those people were gathered on a huge square. In the middle of that square, there was an ancient array, which was surrounded by shining best-quality crystals. A surge of natural spirit chi was flowing out from those crystals and injected into that ancient array, which made it look like that ancient array had a rainbow light curled up on it. Many young warriors were separated into small teams and surrounded the ancient array. Yang Luo and Mo Duanhuan looked respectful and constantly fiddled with the strange compass on that ancient array. The Yang warriors, under the command from those two, entered into the ancient array by order and stood on it. Then a group of dazzling light flashed, and those warriors who stood on the ancient array disappeared. Transmission array. Just by a glance, Shuryen realized that the ancient array was a magical array that connected two places. Only the blacksmith with royalty rank can make this complex transmission array. In the Kiara Sea, only the powerful family like Yang family can afford to hire those royalty rank blacksmiths and spend an unimaginable amount of materials to build this thing. One after one, the warriors from Yang family entered into the transmission array under the command from Yang Luo and Mo Duanhuan, spending one best quality crystal to teleported them into an unknown area. When Shuryen arrived there with the demon ghost, there was a huge fuss among the people. Under the pressure from the ghost beast, those demon beasts on their own groveled to the ground and didn't dare to look into ghost beast eyes. Their body were shivering as if they saw their natural enemy. Yang Lao looked up on the sky and startled. Mo Duanhuan also gently nodded toward Shuryen and seemed like he was surprised with Shuryen's ability. Brat, good, very good. Yang Lao smiled. This ghost beast really has an affinity with you. It already stayed in the immortal island for a long time, and there was never anyone who can go near it, and you can tame this unusual demon beast. Which means the heavens still care about us, the Yang family. Many young warriors showed excitement in their face when they heard Yang Lao's word. Seems like they grasped something from it. What is the situation now? Shuryen came down from the ghost beast and gently patted ghost beast. Suddenly the ghost beast, which keeps releasing ferocious and evil atmosphere, quite down, lazily lying on the ground, and didn't continue to show its ferocious side. The warriors from the other families are moving towards Kiara Sea, and soon, those people will appear here. Yang Lao's face became gloomy. The news about your great-grandfather, who is trapped under the demon seal formation, has already spread throughout the endless sea. After Bo Sun spoke up, no one thinks that your great-grandfather can escape from that demon seal formation. So, those who have been afraid of us, the Yang family, caught this golden opportunity to exterminate our Yang family. Yang Lao explained the situation in brief. The Demon King Bo Sun's bone shadow, which appeared in different areas, already indicated that this time Yang Qingdi will definitely die. Many demon dwellers who have entered from the unstable points in space long time ago already frequently contacted the heads from the major families and explained to them the goodwill from Bo Sun and Chi Yan. And they even showed their sincerity by sending many rare goods and materials that only exist in the demon area to those major families. Chi Yan and Bo Sun already spoke up to get along with the Endless Sea by connecting the two worlds and exchanging materials. The proposal from the two Demon King made many people restless, and those magical materials from the demon area also made so that many people could hardly stay still. In the past, the gate of heaven that connected the Endless Sea and the fourth demon area was in the hands of the Yang. Only the Yang family can go through that door to enter the fourth demon area and bring many strange materials that didn't exist in this world. And because of this, the resources from Yang family were extremely tremendous in the Endless Sea, and with this advantage the Yang family can firmly stand proudly in the Endless Sea. There was nobody that can coveted the materials from the demon area. In the past, the Yang was controlling the gate, and because the powerful Yang family, those people didn't dare to mess and only can exchange that material from the Yang family, which made Yang family acquire many rare treasures. And now, Yang Qingdi was imprisoned. Chi Yan and Bo Sun also gave them a treaty that was difficult to refuse by them, in order to obtain the materials from demon area and the wealth that has been accumulated by the Yang family for hundreds of years. Those people finally teamed up and planned to destroy the Yang family and share with the demon area. After deciding, those major families will no longer hesitated and started sending experts toward Kiara Sea. That force was very powerful. The evil Wonderland and Xia family, who were in alliance with the Yang family in the past, also suddenly quite down. The Xia family was pretty modest. Xia Shenchuan already spoke up to Yang Lao in advance that the Xia family won't face those forces for Yang family and won't make any move, regardless if their decision was right or wrong. And the evil Wonderland not only didn't help the Yang family, but they also secretly contacted with those forces, seemed like they were determined to help those people, and replace the Yang family in the Endless Sea. In just one night, the Yang family was isolated and became the target of many people. Many ferocious families started to open their bloody mouth, trying to devour the Yang family after they received the message from Bo Sun that Yang Qingdi will definitely die. The Yang family's situation has reached the most dangerous moment. In desperation, Yang Lao began to start the evacuation plan by dividing the wealth that has been accumulated by the Yang family and Yang warriors into small groups and quietly transferring it. "You're just in time," Yang Lao frowned. "This time we need to evacuate, and now we have 3 evacuation areas. The first one is the demon area, the second one is the underwater desolate city, and the last is the Chasm battlefield. You can choose where you want to go." "Demon area?" Shuryen was shocked. "How would you guys want to evacuate to demon area? If we enter the demon area this time, then wouldn't we be killed by Bo Sun and Chi Yan?" "The situation in the demon area is different from what you think." Yang Luo smiled. During the critical time of the family, he still remained calm. In the fourth demon area, there are many regions. Even Bo Sun and Chi Yan can't sense the situation inside it. The demon area is extremely vast, so this kind of magical field is countless. The Yang family has been operating in the demon area for a long time, so we understand some regions even better than the demon dwellers. This time, the Yang family members that entered the demon area number up to 80%. A long time ago, we built a masking array with the help of the environment in there, so it would be difficult for Bo Sun and Chi Yan to find us. Shuryen was surprised. At first, he thought that in the fourth demon area, the Demon King Bo Sun and Chi Yan, who had the cultivation of the third sky of spirit realm, can easily find out the situation in the demon area, and now, after listening to Yang Lao's explanation, he knew that the magical field in the demon area are so powerful that even the Demon King Bo Sun and Chi Yan can do nothing about it. The underwater desolate city is a magical place in the Endless Sea. The sea warriors are the inhabitants in there, and the sea is their world. If there is a large number of Endless Sea people entered there, it would cause a huge fuss and maybe there would be a war with them, but we have some contact with some families in there, so there shouldn't be any problem if we enter into the city. What about the Chasm battlefield? What kind of place is that? The Chasm battlefield is in the Sky Sea. It's said it originally belonged to this world, but don't know why it was split out from this world. The Chasm battlefield is very strange. The heaven gate that connects the Chasm battlefield is always changing. Every 100 years, it would change once. What do you mean? 300 years ago, only the warriors from elementary realm to spirit realm can enter the door. 200 years ago, the heaven gate changed. The spirit realm warriors already can't enter it. 100 years ago, that heaven gate changed again. Even the sky realm warriors can't enter it. And now, even Nirvana realm warriors can't enter that heaven gate. This time, only earth realm warriors and below earth realm warriors can enter it. What? So there is a limit in that gate every 100 years. That's right, Yang Lao nodded. This time, we would divide into 3 groups. One would go into the demon area, next one would go into the underwater desolate city, and the last one will go to the Chasm battlefield. With that, we can prevent some damage. After all, if we focus on one area, there is a chance that we could be exterminated, so by dividing into 3 groups, we can increase the chance of blood retention. I will go to the Chasm battlefield, Yang Mu sneered. I won't only enter the Chasm battlefield, but also I will spread out the information, telling those people that I am inside it. This time, the Nirvana realm warriors can't enter it, and for those major families who want to exterminate us, they would have to send their warriors below Nirvana realm to kill me. I will wait inside the Chasm battlefield. And those who dare to come to kill me, I will kill them all. I also will go to the Chasm battlefield. Shuryen nodded lightly. I think it will be more interesting there. The warriors above Earth realm can't enter the Chasm battlefield. This means that the experts that will be sent by those families at most would only be in the 3rd sky of Earth realm. Shuryen believes that with his power, he can face the Earth realm warriors. Which means the Chasm battlefield is the most suitable place for him, which may also be the most secure place, and it can also increase his strength by killing those warriors from other families. Good one, Xiao Yanzi. Yang Mu laughed. After we arrive there, I would want to see how many people dare to come to kill us. The more they are, the better it will be, so I can kill as many as I want. The Chasm battlefield is very mysterious. It's said that it was the battlefield of the mighty warriors from the ancient times. Inside it, there are many barriers and forbidden area. And also there are some magical treasures and martial skills that are left from the ancient times, if you guys want to enter it. Not only you to be careful of those guys who want to kill you, but also the forbidden area and dangerous array inside the Chasm battlefield. Yang Luo frowned, said. Inside it, there is a legendary magical treasure that can release Master from the Demon Seal formation. Mo Duanhuan, who has been silent, suddenly spoke up and stared at Shuryen as if he was thinking about something. Yang Lao looked startled and quite weird, and was also staring at Shuryen. What? Is there a connection between it and Xiao Yanzi? Yang Mu also exclaimed. Yang Luo and Mo Duanhuan nodded. Translated by Wai. Chapter 216, Sky-Breaking Shuttle. Chapter 216, Sky-Breaking Shuttle. Young warriors entered the transfer formation one by one and disappeared after a bunch of dazzling light. Beside the transfer formation, there was a crowd of thousands of warriors, whose realms varied, but they all looked in high spirits. They were quite confident. Yang Lao and Mo Duanhuan stared at Shuryen with meaningful eyes. Pointing at himself, Shuryen was rather confused. To do with me. There are many rare secret treasures of elite experts from the ancient times on the Chasm battlefield. Mo Duanhuan nodded. In the Endless Sea, many experts have gone to the Chasm battlefield and never came back. They just disappeared. Among them, there was one called Tai Long, a very famous sacred realm blacksmith. Thousands of years ago, his skill was known across the Endless Sea, and his works were invaluable. He died on the battlefield? Shuryen frowned. I don't know. Yang Lao replied, but he never appeared in the Endless Sea later on. That's extremely talented blacksmith, whose most famous secret treasure was Sky-Breaking Shuttle, which was a sacred realm secret treasure, and it could break any barriers in the space and tear any pattern. With the sky-breaking shuttle, Tai Long could enter and shuttle through any world without the help of gates of heavens. Nothing could trap him. You mean, as long as you master the sky-breaking shuttle, you can take Great-Grandpa out of the Demon Seal formation? Shi Yan began to understand. If the legend about the sky-breaking shuttle is true, then it is capable of that. Amo Duanhuan assured. Really? Yang Mu didn't know it either, as he asked in surprise, if that secret treasure is truly so magic, why didn't Tai Long use it to get out of the Chasm battlefield? Don't they say that Chasm battlefield is full of barriers? With the secret treasure, can't he go anywhere he wants on the Chasm battlefield? It is said that Tai Long died on the Chasm battlefield due to a sky flame. He intended to tame the sky flame, but was counter-devoured by it. Amo Duanhuan paused and continued. Although Tai Long was a sacred realm blacksmith, his martial level was merely in the third sky of Sky Realm, which was not enough to tame the sky flame. What's it to do with Xiao Yan then? Yang Mu asked again. Shi Yan got confused. Yeah, what's it to do with me? The two sky flames could perceive each other when they are in the same area. Amo Duanhuan explained, the flames are mysterious, some can coexist, and some would fight. Shi Yan, when you go into the Chasm battlefield, you may perceive the position of the sky flame. And with the help of ice-cold flame, you may be able to get the secret treasure sky-breaking shuttle. Got it? Shi Yan nodded with a smile. This time on the Chasm battlefield, I will communicate with the ice-cold flame, and will mainly look for Tai Long's sky-breaking shuttle. Be careful. Don't push yourself too hard. When you perceive the sky flame's position, let Yang Mu search for the sky-breaking shuttle. Or, if the sky flame discovers the ice-cold flame in you, it may attack you. Understand? Amo Duanhuan said. I know what to do. Well, wait for a moment. You can do it together in a couple of days when Yang Ku and Yang Shui come. 3 days later, Yang Ku, Yang Shui, and Li Fenger came back together to the Immortal Island. Yang Ku and Yang Shui were both direct descendants of the Yang family, and were both at the second sky of Earth Realm. Li Fenger was at the first sky of Earth Realm, the daughter of one of the Shura kings, Li Mu. Yang Mu, Yang Ku, Yang Shui, Li Fenger, Shi Yan, you 5 each lead a group of 10 Earth Realm warriors. You together enter the Chasm battlefield and stay there quietly for 3 years. Yang Lao ordered when everybody was there. Shi Yan, Yang Mu and others nodded together. Shi Yan is merely at Disaster Realm and is inexperienced. Is it okay that he leads a group? Li Fenger frowned, looking at Shi Yan with strange eyes. You sure you can manage it? Li Fenger was Shura King Li Mu's single daughter, who was at the first sky of Earth Realm. In the Yang family, she was treated as Yang Mu and alike, getting the best training materials. She looked pretty. Having fought everywhere for the Yang family, she was considered important, and she herself regarded the Immortal Island as her home. As one of the 3 Shura kings, Li Mu took her every time he went for a battle. Although she was young, her hands were covered with blood of many people. She had met with all sorts of dangers. And she had been to the Chasm battlefield, so she knew how dangerous it was there. She was worried that the 10 warriors would die due to wrong decisions Shi Yan would make. True. Yang Shui nodded. Xiao Yan, are you sure you can take care of 10 people? Yang Shui was Shi Yan's so-called second sister. It's her first time to meet Shi Yan too. Knowing little about him, she also doubted that Disaster Realm Shi Yan could lead 10 Earth Realm warriors. Shi Yan before lived in rural areas, so she guessed he lacked experience of leading others. Even in the Yang family, Earth Realm warriors were precious. The 10 warriors they carefully picked were all potential candidates for Nirvana Realm. For the interest of the Yang family, she didn't think it was a good idea for Shi Yan to lead the team. I will give it a try. Shi Yan gave a brief smile. I'm not that experienced, so I won't separate from you on the Chasm battlefield. The situation on the Chasm battlefield is quite complicated. Li Fenger shook her head and explained, some barriers can't be detected by anyone, although we will be together. If someone touches the barrier, we will be separated. If that happened, we can't give you the right suggestion. Shi Yan looked to Yang Lao. Never mind. Yang Lao smiled to a warrior at the second sky of Earth Realm, Jiang Huchuan. Follow Shi Yan. I believe it will be fine if you are with him. Jiang Huchuan nodded with a smile and said to Shi Yan, "Don't worry, young Master Yan. I will be after you." Yang Lao appointed Jiang Huchuan, so Li Fenger and Yang Shui got reassured and smiled. It will be fine if Uncle Jiang is there. Haha, Uncle Jiang is the best disciple of Grandpa An. Yang Mu said. Shaoan was a minister of the Yang family at the first sky of Sky Realm. He was good at breaking barriers, and so was his disciple Jiang Huchuan. Seeing Jiang Huchuan was in his team, Shi Yan thought about something. So at crucial points, it was Jiang Huchuan who played the role of decision-maker. It was rather put this way, that the 10 warriors were sent to protect Shi Yan. Demon Beast can't go inside the Chasm battlefield. Remember, after you arrive at the Gate of Heaven in the Sky Sea area, arrange for the Demon Beast first. In the Demon Mountain nearby there are all sorts of Demon Beasts, including level 8 Demon Beasts. You can place your Demon Beast in the Demon Mountain. Yang Lao told them some details. Shi Yan listened quietly. 1 hour later, Yang Lao said, "Well, I'll get into the transfer formation with your Demon Beasts. I will send you to the Sky Sea. The transfer formation there is just 20,000 miles to the Gate of Heaven toward the Chasm battlefield. You can get there in 3 days." Shi Yan patted on the demon ghost and stood inside the transfer formation obediently. The demon ghost growled and glanced once at the double-headed dragon among the transfer formation, including Yang Mu. Inside the formation, Yang Mu, Yang Ko, Yang Shui's double-headed dragon, and Li Fenger's cyan blood bat all withdrew as they saw the demon ghost enter. The demon ghost was 10 meters long, while the double-headed dragon and the cyan blood bat were only 5 to 6 meters. The demon ghost was larger with stronger flame. At level 6, the demon ghost looked stronger than the double-headed dragon and the cyan blood bat. Be careful about the people from the Penglai Divine Land. Before he triggered the transfer formation, Yang Lao reminded, the Martial Spirit Palace never cared about the disputes in the Endless Sea and didn't take actions to the Yang family this time. But the Penglai Divine Land took action. Although our transfer formation in the Sky Sea is hidden well, when so many of you appear, they will definitely notice it. So be careful before you enter the Gate of Heaven. Got it? Yang Mu bursted into laughter. It's better that they know. If they knew it, other experts must also known. I guess they won't stay still as they want to kill us. I believe you will encounter some pursuers in the Chasm battlefield, which is good for you. Humph. Yang Ku gave a grim smile. I heard 7 people from the young generation are on the list of the power rankings. I hope they will be in the Chasm battlefield too. The power rankings? Shi Yan was confused. The rankings of the ability of young experts in the Endless Sea. There are 18 of them in all on the power rankings, who are the top experts in the Endless Sea and will become leaders in the future. Li Fenger explained. How many of us are on the list? Shi Yan asked. Yang Mu, Yang Zhou, and Yang Ku are all on it. Li Fenger grinned and glanced at Yang Ku, but Yang Ku is on the bottom, the 18th of the power rankings. Haha. Shi Yan put on a solemn look. Chapter 217, The Power Rankings. Chapter 217, The Power Rankings. At the center of an isolated island in the Sky Sea, the seawater gave out hustling sound. The blue seawater rippled away while silver light spots skimmed over. Voila la! After a huge stir in the water, a huge monster appeared from it. 5 demon beasts flew out of the sea and landed on a nearby island. Young warriors swam out of the seawater and moved toward the island. Under the blue sky and white clouds, Shi Yan looked around, secretly releasing his consciousness to detect anything unusual in the surroundings. There was no sign of life wherever the consciousness passed. No danger here, Shi Yan was assured. The transfer formation of the Yang family here was hidden. There were many isolated islands under the seawater, and the transfer formation was under one of them. It could be only seen from deep in the sea. Standing on the isolated island, Shi Yan detected with his consciousness. After being assured that there was no danger, he stood beside the demon ghost. Xiao Yan, how about your group? Do you want to ride our demon beasts? Yang Mu raised his voice to ask. There were in all 55 people and 5 demon beasts, who were divided into 5 groups. Young Mu and others double-headed dragons could carry 12 people. The warriors had all mounted on the demon beasts now. Shurian's 10 warriors just watched the demon ghost in fear and didn't dare approach. The demon ghost was 10 meters long, and it would be more comfortable to sit on it. But the demon ghost was so grumpy and its back was covered with thorns, so those warriors didn't dare to get close to it. Never mind. Shurian smiled, pressed on the demon ghost's neck, and quietly communicated with the demon ghost. Since the demon ghost was tamed by Shurian in the Immortal Valley, it regarded Shurian as his companion. So once Shurian sent his will to the demon ghost, the latter would do as told obediently. As it received the message, it was unwilling, but still, the demon ghost withdrew its thorns on the back into its body. It's okay now. Shurian beamed at Jiang Huchuan and turned to the warriors. All of you come up now. Jiang Huchuan took in a deep breath. While observing the demon ghost, he approached it. After he found the demon ghost didn't mean to hurt him, he mounted on the demon ghost. Let's go! Yang Mu yelled. His double-headed dragon flew out into the sky like a wind. Yang Ku and Yang Shue's double-headed dragon followed closely. Li Fenger's cyan magic bat flew a little slower. Hoo-hoo. The demon ghost dashed out like a sword into the sky and surpassed the bat at once. Then Yang Mu, Yang Ke, and Yang Shue's double-headed dragons and went ahead of the line. Your demon beast is really bossy. It wants to be the first. Yang Mu praised. It is said these demon beasts could evolve endlessly. Can't imagine how powerful it would be when it reaches level 8 and 9. How did you tame this demon beast? Li Fenger was confused. After this demon beast was taken back to the Immortal Island, many demon beasts on the island went quiet. It swallows level 2 and level 3 demon beasts every day. How does he obey you? A disaster realm warrior. Shurian grinned. Luck. You are so lucky. Li Fenger admired. Be careful, the Sky Sea belongs to the Penglai Divine Land. There must be warriors from the Penglai Divine Land on the nearby islands. We will be spotted easily if we fly in the sky. Yang Shui frowned. We don't get along well with the Penglai Divine Land. Now that they had taken action, they won't spare us. They will attack us as soon as they see us. Yang Mu also nodded. Panja from the Penglai Divine Land is at the 3rd sky of Earth Realm, ranked 5th on the power ranks, a little weaker than me. We have to be careful if we meet him. I have dealt with him before. He is great, capable of all sorts of martial skills. Shurian also went on alert. From Yang Mu and the group, he got to know about the ranks well. Only young warriors under 30 in the Endless Sea could be included into the list. Only 4 young people in the Kiara Sea were listed on the ranks, who were Yang Mu, Yang Zhou, Yang Ko and Xia Kue, while none of the Xia family was on the ranks. Yang Mu ranked 4th, Yang Zhou 12th, Yang Ku 18th, while Xia Kue from the Evil Wonderland was the 10th. The 18 young experts on the ranks were all extraordinary with huge potential. They were the future leaders of the Endless Sea. 3 young family members were on the power rankings, which showed how powerful the Yang family was. The demon ghost dashed forward toward the Gourd Island where the Gate of Heaven was, followed by the double-headed dragon and the cyan magic bat. Enemies here. As they went to an unknown island, Shurian softly patted the demon ghost and slowed it down. Yang Mu was stunned. Xiao Yan, you can detect the enemies. Yes. Shurian nodded. They are on the island in front of us. Dozens of them including Nirvana Realm experts. Xiao Yan, are you sure? Yang Shui was surprised. We can count on him. Yang Mu answered and explained. When on the Black Stone Island, Xiao Yan could perceive the demon dweller's smell with the secret treasure. He must be detecting with it now. He didn't know that this time Shurian had refined the sea of consciousness and obtained more acute sense. Do we need to avoid them? Yang Shui frowned. There are Nirvana Realm warriors. Tough. We should get into the Chasm battlefield first and wait for the pursuers to come. We can't avoid them. Yang Mu shook his head. Since there are Nirvana Realm warriors, they must have detected us with their consciousness sea. We have proceeded here for 1 day. They must have known it. Exactly, we can't avoid them. They are already here. Shurian nodded too. We can't know who they are. Yang Mu pondered. Our 5 demon beasts are at level 6. If there is only 1 or 2 warriors, we don't need to be nervous. But it's tough if they have too many Nirvana Realm warriors. Xiao Yan, can you detect how many Nirvana Realm warriors there are? 3. 3? Then it's fine. Hoo. In the strong wind, a silver triangled ship was flying rapidly in the sky, with several human figures on it. Silver-horned ship. Yang Mu sneered. They are from the Penglai Divine Land. The silver-horned ship could fly in the sky and sail on the sea. Only important people can have it. In the Penglai Divine Land, even Nirvana Realm warriors are not allowed to use the silver-horned ship. Panja must be there. Brother Yang Mu, long time no see, hee. Loud laughter suddenly came from the silver-horned ship, as a handsome young man stood in the front with a feathered fan in his hand. Shi Yan sat up straight on the demon ghost. After deeply looking in that direction for a while, his face became gloomy. Gu Jianga, from the Gu family, and divine girl Qianqing were also standing on the ship. On the Monroe Island, she nearly killed him. Now they met here again. After being redeemed, Gu Jianga was still alive. Sure, yeah. From dozens of meters away, came Gu Jianga's cold sound. Here you are. Yes, here we are. Shi Yan looked at Gu Jianga coldly. I can't believe you are still alive. Very good, then I can kill you in person. You are Shi Yan? Don't bullshit. I can kill you at once. Beside Gu Jianga, a pretty young girl in a green dress was quite arrogant. Gu Linglong, the second sky of Earth Realm, ranked 8th, much stronger than Gu Jianga. Li Fenger introduced softly. I don't believe it. Shi Yan looked unconcerned as he looked over to Gu Linglong. Gal, you haven't even grown up. Stop boasting. You are seeking your own death. Gu Linglong sneered, with anger in her eyes. A silver long sword flew out from her sleeve and shot toward Shi Yan as lightning. Shi Yan frowned, sitting still on the demon ghost without taking action. Chi. The demon ghost breathed green dark chi, which was like a green cloud gushing to the silver sword. The sword stabbed into the green clouds and was imprisoned. It couldn't move a bit. Even the sword soul inside it was blown away by the dark chi. Dark chi. Those people on the silver-horned ship became anxious, gazing at the demon ghost in fear as they cried out. Demon beast from the dark world. Panja withdrew his smile. When did you young family get connected to the dark world? The portals are all one-sided. Their demon beasts and dwellers can't enter our world. How did you get this dark world demon beast? Stop the **** bullshit. Yang Mu was impatient. Panja, do you want to fight? Chapter 218. The Demon Ghost Showed Its Viciousness. Chapter 218. The Demon Ghost Shows Its Viciousness. Panja, do you dare fight with me? Yang Mu, sitting on the double-headed dragon, gazed afar at Panja on the silver-horned ship and yelled. The silver-huge sword flew out and hovered on Yang Mu's head, letting out 10-meter-long light, which was orientated at Panja directly. On the silver-horned ship, Panja smiled with the fan in his hand. Yang Mu, we came to destroy your Yang family. Not to waste our time. You chickened? Don't you? Yang Mu laughed. Panja, I know you're a coward. Panja didn't appear irritated, but shook his head with a smile, then turned to the warriors beside him. Don't waste time. Take them. Divine Sun is correct. Wei Qin, the Nirvana Realm warrior from the Penglai Divine Land, nodded. We can't settle down if the Yang family is not destroyed. They often came to the Sky Sea to make trouble. They deserve it. Kill. Panja waved his hand. Boom, boom, boom. Huge thunders suddenly came from the silver-horned ship, while a bunch of spiral golden light shot out towards Shi Yan and Yang Mu. Spiral divine light. Yang Mu yelled, separate. Shi Yan's expression changed a bit as he hurried to send a message to the demon ghost to avoid the light. The demon ghost bellowed with a burst of evil energy. Green dark chi and black demon chi gushed out from its body and formed a wave, striking directly to the spiral divine light. Shi Yan! Yang Mu urged the demon beast to leave, but seeing Shi Yan was about to be hit, he screamed. the spiral divine light is condensed by 300 profound crystals. It is unbreakable. Yang Mu's scream suddenly stopped. Chi chi chi. The dark chi and demon chi from the demon ghost congealed and formed a strange shield, while the spiral divine light hit on it. The latter was controlled. Like a spiral, the light span quickly, getting a little stronger every time it span. In the endless sea, the spiral divine light generated by the silver horn ship could easily took a Nirvana realm warrior's life. However, this strike was stopped by the shield formed by the demon ghost. Dark chi. Demon chi. The warrior standing on the silver horn ship couldn't help but scream. Panja looked gloomy, as he couldn't believe what he had seen. After a while, he said, "What demon beast is it? Why can it trigger dark chi, even the demon chi from the demon area? What did you do? How did you make this hybrid creature?" New generation experts as Gu Linglong and Chu Yanqing were surprised by the demon ghost. Yang Mu, Yang Shui, and Li Fenger were also shocked by the power of the demon ghost. Shoo shoo shoo. From the shield formed by the demon ghost with dark chi and demon chi, suddenly came sharp whistles. Along with it, evil energy shot toward the silver horn ship like arrows. Dense evil energy poured out like rain of arrows. Panja, Chu Yanqing, and the fellow warriors panicked to fight back. Shi Yan sat on the demon ghost, smiled coldly. The demon ghost was a hybrid of the ghost from the dark world and the dragon from the demon area, and was an extremely vicious creature. Although the demon ghost was merely at level 6, its evil energy was much stronger than normal level 6 demon beasts. Endless evil energy shot to the silver horn ship, and without an order, the demon ghost suddenly bellowed and struck towards the silver horn ship. The spiral divine light couldn't defend against the demon ghost at all, as it was broken apart by the demon ghost and became golden light spots until they disappeared. Kill! Seeing the demon ghost began to attack, Yang Mu laughed. "Xiao Yan, here we are. You are really lucky. Haha." Yang Ke, Yang Shui, Li Fenger, and the group also drove their double-headed dragons, cyan magic bats, to fly over the golden spots and land on the silver horn ship. Bang! The demon ghost's 10-meter-long body landed on the silver horn ship first, while the ship could hardly bear the demon ghost as it shook greatly. Bad. Panja's expression changed. Wei Qing, quickly stable the ship. This warrior from the Penglai Divine Land rushed into the cabin. In an instant, a strong energy wave came from inside the ship, and the silver horn ship went stable at once. "Shi Yan, I want to kill you." Gu Jianga whistled as a dragon-killing sword with a fire tail flew out from his back towards Shi Yan. Shi Yan was calm as he threw out a green moonstone towards that sword. The green moonstone became a cold green light after striking on the dragon-killing sword. Its immediately cold energy put off the fire at once. Gu Jianga panicked. As he stood the closest to the dragon-killing sword, he was covered by 30 ice light shots. Feeling freezing cold, his profound chi also slowed down. Seal of death. Shi Yan yelled in his mind, and stretched out his left hand, while 7 handprints exploded towards Gu Jianga with the power of death. Gu Jianga was frightened. Though they were both at the second sky of Disaster Realm, Shi Yan's seal of death was overwhelming to him. He could hardly defend against it. Thus he got close to Gu Linglong to avoid it. Useless. Gu Linglong sneered, as 2 magical swords twisted and flew out like 2 mudfish. Bang bang. The seal of death struck on the Yin swords, but was diverted by it. Gu Linglong's long eyebrows went high. She had the martial spirit of the heart of magical sword, so she could perceive that the sword soul was polluted by the seal. Bastard, what evil martial skill is that? Gu Linglong turned serious, and she shouted madly, "You damaged my sword soul. I won't let you go." At once, a sword of wind character broke the sky and appeared in front of Shi Yan. The sword could hide itself, so Shi Yan didn't even notice it. When he first saw the sword, it was already at his face. "Huh!" The demon ghost let out dirty air and spitted it on the sword. The sword at once changed its direction and flew toward Chu Yanqing. Xu Yanqing, who was fighting against Yang Shui and Yang Ke, was frightened, so she retreated away to avoid the sword. She reproached coldly, "Gu Linglong, what the hell are you doing?" "Accident." Gu Linglong stuck out her tongue and withdrew the sword. She went angrier, "You bastard. What a shame, you used your demon beast. Fight with me. I can kill you at once." Shuryen didn't move, but stayed on the demon ghost, watching what's happening on the silver horn ship. The 5 groups of Yang warriors had got down from the demon beasts, which were standing on the silver horn ship with warriors from the Pinglai Divine Land, the Heaven Lake Sacred Land, and the Gu family. Yang Mu's demon beast gazed at 2 Nirvana warriors so they couldn't make a move. Yang Mu, Yang Shui, Yang Ko, and Li Fenger performed their best martial skills against Panja and Xu Yanqing. Apart from Panja, Xu Yanqing, Gu Jianga, Gu Linglong, there were still 30-some warriors on the silver horn ship. Their realms varied. Some were at the 3rd sky of Earth Realm, while some were at Disaster Realm. They were in a fierce war. Without responding to Gu Linglong, Shuryen observed the ship and secretly generated the gravitational field. The gravitational field was invisible, as warriors under Nirvana Realm couldn't even detect it. Shuryen was clear-minded, as he got the timing to control those warriors with his gravitational field. In the fierce battle, one's life was determined in 1 or 2 seconds. As the gravitational field suddenly generated, those enemy warriors couldn't even use the slightest energy to fight back. The young warrior quickly took the opportunity to slaughter them. Shuryen sat up straight on the demon ghost, while secretly gathering the profound chi from the dead warriors. The battle on the ship was messed up by the gravitational field, while the Yang family got the upper hand and started slaughtering. Looking back at those enemy warriors, who were now in great confusion about the situation, while they could hardly fight. "That bastard is playing a trick." Coming out from the cabin, Wei Qing realized something. After detecting by his consciousness, he shouted at Shuryen. Shuryen suddenly became their mutual target. God of Slaughter. Chapter 219, So Lame. Chapter 219, So Lame. Sponsored by Terence Mykovsky. Wei Qing came out from the silver horn ship, then he released soul consciousness of the Nirvana realm. Just feeling for a moment, he found that there were a lot of strange energy waves controlled by Shuryen, which imprisoned the warriors of the Pinglai Divine Land, the Heaven Lake Divine Land, and the Gu family, so they could be killed by the Yang family easily. Shuryen was the cause of this one-sided situation. When Wei Qing found the strange energy, he yelled. It made everyone focusing their gaze on Shuryen. Panja, Xu Yanqing, Gu Linglong, these young superiors, stared at Shuryen immediately. The 3 Nirvana Realm warriors dropped the double-headed dragon and cyan magic bat immediately and got close to the demon ghost. The 3 old warriors used their power together and surrounded the demon ghost from 3 directions. Damn it! Stop! Gu Linglong yelled and took a deep breath. There were 7 light rays of different colors coming towards Shuryen in different directions. The 7 rays of light were 7 swords of Gu Linglong. The 7 swords were arranged in a sword array. Light interweave formed a network and flied down towards Shuryen. The sword light mixed, energy fluctuations were triggered under Gu Linglong's control, carrying an extremely sharp shock wave. Shuryen's face changed a little. Gu Linglong was at the 2nd sky of Earth Realm. Every one of her 7 swords were very powerful. The power of the sword array was shocking that even Nirvana warriors could not resist it. He didn't hesitate, and in a moment, he released the dark light shield and the petrification martial spirit. Shuryen was sitting on the demon ghost gathering negative power again. He instantly hit the seal of life and death as they intervened together. He used his strongest move to fight against the 7 swords array. The seal of life and death overlapped. There were 7 huge handprints in a row like leaf fans. A strange energy came out of the seal of life and death suddenly. Boom, boom, boom. A burst of energy roars suddenly exploded in the sky with dazzling light like beautiful fireworks. The seal of life and death came into the swords array. The fluctuations from it contained the mixed power of life and death. The Seven Swords Array's light dimmed down abruptly. It was disorganized under the bombardment of the seal of life and death. Gu Linglong's beautiful face turned pale and her body shook. From the Swords Array, 7 attributes of different energy fluctuations were releasing. They followed Shuryan's life fluctuations and attacked him. Sitting on the demon ghost, Shuryan was attacked by the Sword Array. As his dark light shield was broken, his body was thrown out from the demon ghost. Puff! Shuryan sprayed a mouth of blood. His organs seemed to be moved. He was in extreme pain. Using 3rd stage of petrification martial spirit, he prevented the 7 swords force so that his body was safe and secure. But the force penetrated in Shuryan's body and began to destroy his body. His face turned extremely white. Shuryan quickly released the negative power in his meridians to resist the power of the 7 swords into his body. Negative power, profound chi defense. Shuryan hurried to remove the destruction power from his body. At the same time, a hot inflammatory force also came out from the blood vein ring and gushed into his tendons to help him remove the power of the sword. This was fire power of the earth core fire of thousands of years. 3 kinds of strange power flowed along Shuryan's tendons. In a very short period of time, the power of the 7 swords was consumed. Colorful light emerged from Shuryan's skin. At first glance, he seemed to be a strange light source, and the energy fluctuations in his body were in chaos. Who? Lightly breathing, Shuryan had a poker face, then he wiped off the blood on his mouth. Taking a quick leap, Shuryan flew onto the back of Demon Ghost. He took an exquisite sight at Gu Linglong and said, "So lame." Gu Linglong's beautiful eyes showed a cold light, and her body shook slightly, gritting her teeth. As the 7 sword blew, she believed that only Yang Mu and Yang Zhou could resist it among the young superiors of the Yang family. Shuryan was a warrior of disaster realm. She expected that Shuryan should be killed instantly. However, Shuryan's martial skill intercepted it. The impact of 7 swords had stormed Shuryan's body, but was consumed by him. It was so strange that it was utterly beyond Gu Linglong's expectation. Shuryan was sitting on the demon ghost again. It made her feel unfathomable. When Gu Linglong looked at Shuryan again, she had no contempt. "Howl!" the demon ghost roared. The green eyes on its ferocious face emits faint green light instantly. Different lights shoot towards Wei Qing's 3 Nirvana realm warriors. Due to the strange green light, the 3 men's sea of consciousness became a mess, so they could not form effective attack anymore. The demon ghost growled. Its huge body angrily landed on the ship. It ripped one after another warrior from the Penglai divine land into pieces. There was misty blood fog filling the air around the demon ghost. As more evil energy gathered in the bloody mist, it became more and more intense. With the demon ghost as a center, the bloody mist spread it out like a storm. Wherever the mist of blood swept, all people retreated. Even Wei Qing's 3 warriors of Nirvana realm stayed away. Shuryan also became aware of the violent anger of the demon ghost. Because Shuryan was attacked by Gu Linglong, the demon beast seemed to be irritated. It was crazy to arouse its bloodthirsty temper. The demon ghost ran wild on the silver horn ship. Its green eyes shot out green faint light. It was just a demon ghost of level 6. But at this moment, it erupted like a level 7 monster beast. Panja, Chu Yanqing, Gu Linglong and Gu Jianga were all shocked by the evil fierceness of the demon ghost. They dared not to get close to the demon ghost and stayed away. Yang Mu, Li Fenger and other warriors of the Yang family were about to get close to Shuryan, but as they saw the demon ghost suddenly go mad, they stepped aside. At that time, the silver horn ship became a stage for the demon ghost to kill. It received Shuryan's will and tore the warriors from the Penglai Divine Land and the Heaven Lake Divine Land to shreds. There were blood and remains scattered everywhere on the silver horn ship. Sitting on the demon ghost, Shuryan was enjoying the power of those dead bodies. His meridians started to get a hurt. A variety of negative emotions were flowing into Shuryan's mind. He could barely manage his consciousness. Evil forces of fear, bloodthirstiness, resentment, and negative energy exploded and formed a white light mist around Shuryan's body and dissipated quietly. Gu Jianga wanted to sneak attack Shuryan. But he was careless and was instantly surrounded by the white mist formed from Shi Yan's negative emotions. Just in a moment, Gu Jianga suddenly lost his mind. He was like a prisoner which had been trapped for hundreds of years and moved to kill Gu Linglong. Gu Jianga became crazy. "You're crazy." Gu Linglong got a bad feeling and wanted to move, but she found that there was endless resentment in Gu Jianga. Gu Linglong immediately realized that he really became crazy. Shi Yan was also shocked after he found that the waves of the negative emotions could make people mad and even make them kill their companions. Shi Yan immediately realized that this was an extremely uncommon magic ability. He immediately wrapped the negative emotion mist with his soul consciousness and covered it onto the warriors of the Penglai Divine Land and Heaven Lake Divine Land. As expected, once covered by the white mist, those warriors immediately became delirious and bloodthirsty and began to kill each other. "What black magic?" Wei Qing screamed when he saw his men lose their mind and killed each other. All of a sudden, he felt helpless. "Howl!" The demon ghost jumped towards Wei Qing, and there was a strong dark energy wave flowing from him. Wei Qing's face changed. He didn't care about his men and jumped off the silver horn ship while shouting, "Go!" The warriors on the silver horn ship also saw something was wrong. They immediately followed Wei Qing and jumped into the sea. Below them was the endless ocean. These people knew that it will be fine to fall into the sea. So they just jumped into the sea. "Shi Yan, remember, I will kill you." Gu Linglong stared at him bitterly and then caught the delirious Gu Jianga and went into the sea drawing a beautiful line. Only 3 seconds, the survived warriors all jumped into the ocean. "Let's go." Shi Yan patted the demon ghost lightly and stopped the demon ghost from going after them. He said to Yang Mu, "Panja, they are just a single group, but there are other warriors coming here. They are stronger than Panja, including 5 Nirvana Realm warriors." Yang Mu's expression changed and he nodded, showing his understanding. After Yang Mu called them, the warriors of the Yang family on the ship boarded onto the demon ghost, the double-headed dragon, and the cyan magic bat. Then they flew away from the ship like a wind. Chapter 220. There is no need to be so direct, right? Chapter 220. There is no need to be so direct, right? A blue sky in the endless sea. The warm wind was slowly blowing under the blue sky. 5 demon beasts were soaring in the sky. On the demon beasts, the Yang warriors were sitting in high spirits and laughing. The victory in the war on half-day before was very glorious. In the clash of 3 big forces in the endless sea, they slaughtered 20 warriors with the same realm as them, forcing the warriors from those 3 big forces to jump into the sea to escape. At this war, Shi Yan, who only had the cultivation of disaster realm, played a decisive role. Yang Shui, Li Feng'er, and the others who despised Shi Yan at first, now when they looked at him, there was some splendor in their eyes, as if they re-recognized Shi Yan. Li Feng'er, who had always been standoffish, also smiled with joy and showed an interest toward Shi Yan. Li Feng'er had a tall posture and very pretty, and usually she was quite arrogant. Because of her outstanding strength, she received the same treatment as Yang Mu and the others in the Yang family. In the entire Kiara Sea, she was also very famous. This time her smile made many young family warriors to secretly peek at her. "I didn't expect that you're this good," Li Feng'er smiled sweetly. "At first, I think that the head made a fuss by using 3 drops of immortal blood to calculate your life and death, and now I know that the head has a great foresight. I think the head knew you're extraordinary, so he was willing to do that." At that time, in the Immortal Islands, after Mo Duanhuan told Yang Qingdi about the accident that occurred with Shi Yan in Menluo Island, Yang Qingdi only hesitated a bit. And then he decided to use 3 drops of immortal blood to determine Shi Yan's life and death. At that time, many people thought that Yang Qingdi was too concerned with Shi Yan. Shi Yan, who only had the cultivation of disaster realm, wasn't worth for him to use 3 drops of immortal blood. Li Feng'er was also one of them. After she knew this thing, she even secretly complained to her father that Shi Yan was burdensome. He even hasn't came to Yang family, but already made Yang Qingdi spent 3 drops of immortal blood. And after meeting Shi Yan at Immortal Island, She saw there wasn't anything special in Shuryen. She even believed that the reason that Shuryen can tame the demon ghost was with the help from Yang Qingdi, so that he can easily tame the demon ghost. She hadn't had any deep impression on Shuryen, and felt that Shuryen was only a very normal warrior on Yang family and wasn't worthy of much attention. Until this war, the moment when Shuryen used gravitational field to reverse the situation and didn't suffer any damage from the 7 swords of Gu Linglong, who is in the power rankings. She started to change her view and finally realized that Yang Qingdi was right, and the 3 drops of immortal blood that he used to determine Shuryen's life and death weren't wasted. Sitting on the demon ghost, Shuryen frowned and slightly glimpsed at Li Feng'er, but didn't speak anything. He was focusing his mind on sensing the changes inside his meridian. On the silver horn ship, the profound chi from those dead warriors of the 3 big forces was quietly absorbed by him. After getting the profound chi, the mysterious martial spirit started to purify the chi. In the purification process, many negative emotions continued to emerge and affected his consciousness. He was about to lose control. This time his meridian absorbed too much power. At this moment his meridian was purifying the profound chi, and the 720 acupuncture points in his body felt like they were burning. Now he only focused on the changes in his meridian and can't be distracted by other things. Hey, Li Feng'er appeared slightly upset. Why you are so cold? I know that you have some skill, but if a beauty was talking with you, you should respond happily, right? In this Kiara Sea, there are many people who want to speak with me, but I didn't care at all. I take the initiative to talk to, but your attitude is like this. You are really arrogant, aren't you? Xiao Yanzi, Feng'er is one of the 4 golden flowers in our Kiara Sea. How can you behave like this when there is a beauty flirting with you? Yang Mu smiled. There are 4 golden flowers in the Kiara Sea. Yang Mu already told Shuryen when they met the first time. In the 4 golden flowers, Zha Xinyan ranked first. The second one was He Qing Man. The third was Yang Shui, and Li Feng'er was the 4th. Although Li Feng'er was the last, but can be famed as one of the 4 golden flowers in the Kiara Sea was definitely true, because she was indeed a very eye-catching beauty. Li Feng'er has tall posture and slender legs, and her snake-like waist was the area that made many people aroused. Snake-like waist, Shuryen suddenly remembered that there was a simplest way to resolve the backlash when the mysterious martial spirit was purifying the profound chi. The desire that can't be restrained suddenly emerged in his heart. He tried to not think but found that desire was becoming more and more strong. At the same time, his eyes were different from when he looked at Li Feng'er before. Now it became gradually filled with lust and desire. What do you want to do? Li Feng'er blushed. She couldn't withstand the look from Shuryen, and fiercely stared at Shuryen, cursed. At first, I think you are pretty good, but it turns out that you are just a pervert. Yang Shui also frowned. That look in Shuryen's eyes and the desire in it was extremely obvious. As long as one was adult, then the special meaning from those eyes can be seen. Xiao Yanzi? There is no need to be so direct, right? Yang Mu laughed, although we all have the same evil thoughts on Feng'er, but no one dared to show it clearly. You are really a special one. Brother Yang, you also aren't a good person. Li Feng'er stared at Yang Mu. Brother, bind me. Shuryen suddenly shouted, it's better if you use metal chain and wrap it around my body, otherwise, I'm afraid that I can't control myself anymore. You. Li Feng'er slightly shouted, looked strangely at him. This is the first time I heard that one need to be tied by a chain because he is a pervert. I have seen many perverts, but this is the first time I have seen a pervert like you. Yang Ku, also stunned, said, there isn't a need to do that, right? I know that Feng'er is a beauty, but that Xia Xinyan is even more beautiful. Don't tell me that you were also like this when you met that girl for the first time. Yang Mu secretly gasped, Xiao Yanzi, did you eat an aphrodisiac? If not, why are you behaving so strange? I practice a martial skill that has a backlash. Once forced to use it, the backlash will make me lose my mind. Shuryen couldn't say anything about the mysterious martial spirit and only tell about Rampage. While panting heavily, he urgently said, I'm not kidding. Brother, quick, tie me, otherwise I definitely will go crazy and will become the same as that Gujianga. Yang Mu's face changed. He quickly replied, "You really mean it?" Shi Yan nodded again and again. This time, Yang Shui and Li Feng'er also started to panic. From Shi Yan changes, they can see that there was something wrong and knew that Shi Yan wasn't kidding. After all, they also saw Gu Jianga, who suddenly went crazy. All right. Yang Mu was very decisive. He quickly flew out from that double-headed dragon and the magic ring in his hand flashed, and suddenly a green iron chain appeared. This chain is a soul-rank secret treasure, and it can bind a Nirvana realm warrior. Do you really want to bind yourself? Yes. Yang Mu frowned, didn't said anything and tied Shi Yan with that chain. After being bounded, the flow of profound qi in Shi Yan's body suddenly slowed down. The chain released a strange oppressive power, and after being tied with this chain, Shi Yan felt like there was a huge mountain crushing him. Even moving became extremely difficult. The various energies inside his body slowed down after tied by that chain. It's okay now, Shi Yan growled. On the demon ghost's body, he closed his eyes and his body was gently trembling. He seemed to be enduring a great pain. Yang Mu and the others were looking at him with a strange expression. Suddenly, evil, dark, violent, and negative auras came out from Shi Yan's body. Those powers were like sharp sword, wandering inside Shi Yan's body. They clearly saw that Shi Yan's skin began to split, and also blood was starting to flow out from his mouth and eyes under the backlash. This time Shi Yan absorbed too much power. The backlash from that much power was also extremely violent. Even his body couldn't withstand that amount of power. Under the outbreak from the backlash, his body was being destroyed from inside. The tendons in his body were shaking and some were even snapped. What kind of evil martial skills this kid practiced? Why is the backlash so terrifying? Li Feng'er was staring at Shi Yan. He only has the cultivation of the second sky of Disaster Realm. But he was fearlessly under the attack from the 7 swords of Gu Linglong. He even managed to survive from it. Yang Shui's expression became complicated. As you know, Gu Linglong is ranked 8th on the power rankings. Her Heart of Divine Sword is a sacred rank martial spirit. Li Feng'er's body trembled. In other words, if he used this evil martial skill, then he can defeat me. Feng'er, you only have the cultivation of the first sky of Earth Realm. Yeah, although your talent is extraordinary, but if Xiao Yanzi really wants to kill you, from the strength that he showed, maybe there is a possibility of it happening. Yang Shui nodded. Li Feng'er became shocked. After Yang Shui said that, she then realized Shi Yan's frightful strength. The ability to kill people above his own realm was really terrifying. Now I felt more and more that the head is really wise. Looks like it is really worthy to spend 3 drops of immortal blood for him. Translated by Y. Chapter 221. Peak of the Disaster Realm. Chapter 221. Peak of the Disaster Realm. Shi Yan sat on top of the demon ghost. He started trembling more and more as blood dripped from his lips, and his entire body was shrouded with evil energies. Yang Mu, Yang Shui, and Li Feng'er all appeared to be very surprised. They stared at Shi Yan, and thoughtful expressions can be seen on their faces. This backlash is truly very frightening. Yang Ke pondered for a moment and said, "Truly, there is only our Yang family's immortality martial spirit that can hold against this. I can see the destructive speed of little Yan's body, and it is very rapid. However, the recovering speed of his body is also not weak. Having the ability to make his power suddenly rise to a level where he can fight with the Earth Realm First Sky Warrior, this martial skill naturally won't have a weak backlash force." Yang Mu nodded, like Xia Xinyan. Once she activates the reincarnation martial spirit, she can instantly step into the Sky Realm. However, once the reincarnation power disappears, not only would she turn back to her true form, it would be hard for her to battle for another few months. In order to use any power that doesn't belong to yourself, you will have to suffer the constraints of the rules of nature. Right, can the nutrition pills help him? Yang Shui's expression changed. I still have 2 nutrition pills on me. It's no use. Yang Mu shook his head. Little Yan's martial spirit's recoil is a little different than other people's. His recoil has a very strong soul fluctuation. It's not just pure physical damage. The nutrition pill will only work when he regains consciousness. But he has our Yang family's immortal martial spirit on him, so the nutrition pill may not be any use for him. That's true. Yang Shui was silent for a moment and then nodded. Everyone became silent. They continued to look at Shuryen. Soon, Shuryen seemed to become overwhelmed by the pain from the recoil. He clenched his teeth and roared. At that moment his expression was the most ferocious. He was about to lose his sanity. Guard him well. This moment is the most crucial for him. Yang Mu's face was serious. He quietly went closer towards Shuryen, in fear that Shuryen might not be able to handle the stinging pain in his body at this important time. Yang Ku and the rest also quietly moved a few steps closer. Shuryen roared, like a demon beast that went mad. He kept roaring in the silent sky. His roars were extremely harsh. They spread far beyond, and seemed to have caught the attention of many warriors in the sky sea. Many warriors on the island all looked up towards the sky, unaware of what was happening. However, when they realized that under the white clouds, it was double-headed dragon and the cyan blood bat that were flying, these warriors that were not from the Penglai divine land all had frightened expressions on their faces, even scared to reveal a single trace of discontent. Yang family warriors once wreaked havoc in the Sky Sea. Many Sky Sea warriors knew that the double-headed dragons and cyan blood bats were demon beasts tamed by the Yang family. These warriors didn't know about the mysterious change that happened in the Yang family. They only thought that this time the Yang family warriors were there to make trouble in the Sky Sea again. Yang Mu and the rest all had serious expressions on their faces. They didn't dare to relax even for a single moment. They all carefully took precautions, in fear that there would be Penglai divine land warriors that would come for them. While Shuryen was screaming, the demon ghosts seemed to have become excited. The dark energy and the demon energy whirled on his body, and airwaves kept forming outside his body. Watching from the island down below, the demon ghosts seemed to be riding with clouds and mists in the thick dark sky. It gave people a very profound and stunning impression. After roaring for God knows how long, when Yang Mu and the rest were at their most tense moment, Shuryen suddenly became quiet. All the evil energies on his body suddenly disappeared without a trace. Shuryen seemed to have completely calmed down. After exhausting both his body and mind, he fell limp on the body of the demon ghost, as if he had lost consciousness. Yang Mu went to check on him. It's all right, he's just temporarily passed out. But the immortal martial spirit inside him is already working to recover his physical body. Checking for a moment, Yang Mai quietly set his mind at rest. He's going to be fine. His immortal martial spirit is actually already in its third stage. What? Yang Xia, Yang Ko, and Li Feng'er all exclaimed. They shockingly looked at Yang Mu with unbelievable expressions. It is indeed in the third stage. Yang Mu smiled with ease. I know you guys are very confused. After all, the third stage of the immortal martial spirit requires you to be in the earth realm. Before this I also had this question in mind. I thought it was truly unbelievable. However, this guy is really abnormal. His immortal martial spirit is really in its third stage. After Yang Mu's reminder, the three blankly stared at Shuryen. Under the gaze of the three, the wounds on Shuryen's body was indeed healing at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. Looking at this speed, it was absolutely unquestionable that this was indeed the third stage of the immortal martial spirit. How is that possible? Li Feng'er's beautiful eyes were filled with shock and curiosity. Exactly how many secrets are on this guy? I never knew that Disaster Realm warriors can also achieve the third stage of the immortal martial spirit. Could it be that he really is abnormal? The reason why Great-Grandpa values him so much must be because of his special traits. Yang Mu smiled. Everyone all nodded. In the cold night sky, countless stars decorated the sky above. 5 demon beasts flew quickly in the night sky. The one in the lead was the demon ghost. Shuryen was lying limp on the demon ghost. He had been unconscious for most of the day. In this time, the visible wounds on his body were all completely healed. In the second half of the night, Shuryen lightly breathed out and slowly woke up. When he opened his eyes, he didn't bother with anyone. Instead, he immediately sat down with his legs crossed and started to strenuously cultivate with his eyes closed. Yangmu and the rest were all looking at him. Everyone felt a strange energy fluctuation on his body. That energy fluctuation was extremely strange. It kept flowing rapidly in his body, as if it was quickly strengthening his profound chi. They had a feeling that Shuryen's spirit, energy, and mind were all having an intriguing change. Time passed by quickly. Before the break of dawn, the natural energies in the nearby area all quietly gathered towards Shuryen and flowed into his body. A flow of cold star power also poured down from the heavens and entered into Shuryen's body. When the sun had just risen, Shuryen finally reopened his eyes. His eyes looked like stars. Two beams of strange light suddenly shot out from his eyes. They actually reached 3 feet out from his eyes, and then quickly went back inside his eyes again. Lighting formed from the eyes. The peak of the disaster realm! Li Feng'er screamed. Yangmu and the rest were also startled. They looked at Shuryen in shock. The expressions on all of their faces were extremely stunned. Profound chi enters into the head and gathers in the eyes, forming into spirit light. This was the direct sign of the peak level of the disaster realm. Now that Shuryen has just woke up, there was already electric light shooting out from his eyes. He had clearly stepped into the 3rd sky peak state of the disaster realm. In just a short night, he leaped up from the 2nd sky of disaster realm and directly stepped into the peak state of 3rd sky of disaster realm. Shuryen revealed a smile and nodded. Yeah, I stepped into the 3rd sky of the disaster realm. Aren't you too much of a freak? Yangku's expression looked like he was defeated by Shuryen. Didn't you suffer from the backlash force? Logically, you should be severely injured. Why are you not only completely fine, but also able to fly up and reach a new level? Dude, how many secrets do you have on you? Luck. Shuryen smiled and didn't explain much. Alright, stop asking. After the shock, Yangmu also recovered. He knew that Shuryen probably had some secrets that he didn't wish to talk about. He didn't want to force him either, so he only smiled. Little Yen is indeed a freak. No wonder great-grandpa values you so much. This guy truly has endless potential. This trip to the Chasm battlefield might just take you go one step further into the Earth realm. Everyone's eyes brightened. Shuryen smiled. I'll try. I can also slightly sense that I'm probably going to step into the Earth realm very soon. That time on that ship, the profound chi that Shuryen had absorbed was extremely vigorous. The strange power it had changed to was also out of his expectations, and it actually helped him reach straight into the 3rd sky of the disaster realm. Plus, he also seemed to be only one step away from the Earth realm. It seemed as if once he gains insight on a certain aspect, he would be able to smoothly step into the Earth realm. Everyone were stunned again. Madman, you are truly a cultivation madman. Li Feng'er shook her head and sighed. I originally thought Yangmu and Yangku as monsters. But this time, I found that there is the existence of a monster among the monsters. Everyone seemed to agree with Li Feng'er's words, as they all nodded their heads, showing their approval to her words. 2 days later, after continuously riding the 5 demon beasts, they finally landed on Gourd Island. This Gourd Island was extremely big in size. From above, it looked like a giant gourd, formed by 2 giant islands. On the bigger piece of the island, there were endless sky demon mountain ranges, where countless demon beasts roamed arrogantly. Separated by many kilometers, Shuryen could almost hear the roars of the demon beasts coming from that side. The demon ghost was also slightly excited. Its evil green eyes gazed afar towards the sky demon mountain range, listening onto the roars of those demon beasts coming from within. It seemed to be irresistibly tempted by the delicious meals and was waiting to make a move. The smaller piece of the island was covered with swamps. Poisonous mists hovered over there and was filled with a deathly ambience. The gate of heaven that leads to the Chasm battlefield is inside that swamp. There shouldn't be any dangers nearby. Back then the Punlai divine land still guarded this gate of heaven, treating the gate of heaven that lead to the Abyss battlefield as a treasured land. However, the people that went to the Abyss battlefield, many of them died in there. Those that came back mostly obtained no benefits, so soon the Punlai divine land stopped valuing this gate of heaven, and now no one guards here anymore, anyone can go in. Li Fenger said loudly. The 5 demon beasts slowly came and stopped in the middle of the green swamps. In the swamps, green light flashed, and a gate of heaven floated quietly on top of a swamped area. A flow of deathly and ancient air quietly flew out from that gate of heaven. That is the gate of heaven. Li Fenger pointed and said calmly, there is nothing abnormal here, however. Once we step inside, it would be another world. Inside the Abyss battlefield, there are dangers all around. We might not be able to find any secret treasures, but as long as we live, our objective will be achieved. Yes, live on. Yang Mu nodded. We have to stay there for at least 3 years. In those 3 years of time, we can do many things. You go to that side. In a while I will come to find you. Shuryen patted the demon ghost and pointed towards the direction of the Sky Demon Mountain range. There are many demon beasts there. This is your heaven. The demon ghost roared and flew into the sky. Its enormous body faded into a black in the sky, going further and further. Let's go. Yang Mu and the others also ordered their demon beasts and finally stepped into the gate of heaven that lead to the Chasm battlefield. Shuryen calmly followed. Chapter 222, Famous. Chapter 222, Becoming Famous. As the drizzling rain continued to fall, 3 silver-horned ships slowly headed towards the Gourd Island. On that ship, grimly looking warriors were standing in rows. In one of the ships, Panja, Chu Yanqing, Gu Linglong were standing together and were having a conversation with a warrior from another ship. The young experts in the Endless Sea were gathered together with experts from another big sea to eradicate the young warriors. I didn't expect that this time. The Yang family will be hiding in the Chasm battlefield. If I had known that, then we would have stopped them at the Gourd Island. Panja frowned. Once they enter the Chasm battlefield, it would be difficult to find them. The situation inside there is quite complex, so you guys have to be careful. The Yang family is finished. Even Yang Mu and others had to hide in the Chasm battlefield. Even this can't change anything. Chu Yanqing looked indifferent. Under the drizzling rain, a circle of silver-white light wisp came out from her body and blocked the rain. And not a single drop of rain can stain her. The immortal island is empty. This time the Yang family has really made up their mind. Gu Linglong sniffed. It's said that the Yang family is divided into 3 groups. The first one will go to the undersea desolate city. The other one goes to the Chasm battlefield, and the largest one goes to the 4th demon area. They are really daring. Even they know that 2 demon king from 4th demon area wants to exterminate them, yet they still dare to move their main force into the demon area. Bo Sun and Chi Yan have already said that they will eradicate the Yang family in the demon area. Brother Panja, how much further is the Gourd Island? Xia Kuei smiled indifferently and shouted from another ship. Soon, but Yang Mu and the others probably will have already gone into the Chasm battlefield. Looks like we have to meet with them inside the Chasm battlefield. Panja laughed. Besides Xia Kuei stood a leisurely-looking beautiful woman with fair white skin in a green dress. Chao Jilan, the lady from Chao family in Tuda Sea, having the cultivation of the 3rd sky of Earth realm, and ranked 3rd in the power rankings, and the most formidable expert among the new generation from the Endless Sea. You guys have fought with Yang Mu 2 days ago, so what do you guys think about him? Chao Jilan slightly raised her neck. Her soft voice was like a spring breeze which gently touched everyone's heart. At that time, there were warriors of the 3rd sky of Nirvana realm among you. But how can you end up in the embarrassment state that you have to abandon the ship? Xia Kuei was also quite curious about this, although Yang Mu was difficult to deal with. But at most he can only fight with 1 Nirvana realm warrior, and you guys still lose, which is really strange. Panja, Chu Yanqing, and Gu Linglong looked embarrassed and slightly awkward. This time we aren't defeated by Yang Mu, Gu Linglong stammered and bitterly said, but it's another guy that made us fail to keep them. Oh! Chao Jilan also seemed interested in this. Her bright moon-like eyes were sparkling, while slightly raising her lips she asked, who? Xia Kuei, who was standing beside Chao Jilan after listening to her beautiful voice, looked at her face. He couldn't help but to compare her with Xia Xinyan in his heart, and he found that both in appearance or aura, Chao Jilan wasn't any less than Xia Xinyan. Their charm was actually on the same level. However, Chao Jilan was a ranked warrior in the power rankings, which made her aura more superior. Shuryen. Gu Linglong bit her teeth, and her eyes shone with a cold light. I don't know where this kid emerged from, but with his appearance, he made our Gu family bear a huge loss. If it wasn't for him, we certainly had retained Yang Mu and the others. And then wait for you guys to come to exterminate them. Shuryen. Chao Jilan smiled. This name is very strange. Who is he? There shouldn't be an expert like this in Yang family's new generation. Xiao Kuei looked toward He Qing, who was on the third ship, and lightly said, "Little sister, you are the one who understands Shuryen very well. I think you can explain about him to us." He Qing man wore a red armor. Her face was flirtatious with a unique seductive aura in her eyes. The young warriors who were on the same ship with her have been quietly watching her and secretly gulped. Some warriors who thought that they were worthy of her were trying to please her, hoping to get her attention. This time, the evil Wonderland has completely turned against the Yang family. After knowing that young Qingdi was trapped with the demon seal pattern, the head of Evil Wonderland tore up the Treaty of Alliance between Evil Wonderland and Yang family, and revealed the information about Yang family's evacuation and waited for the arrival of warriors from Other Sea. After meeting, they were led by Evil Wonderland experts to kill all the way into the Immortal Island. The Evil Wonderland was pressed by the Yang family for hundreds of years, and now they finally got the opportunity to stand up, so naturally they won't remain silent. The Yang family in Kiara Sea was controlling hundreds of islands with rich resources. These islands were the most precious islands in the Kiara Sea. For all this time, the Evil Wonderland coveted those islands, but because of Yang family, they didn't dare to act recklessly, and now, with the help of forces from Another Sea, the Evil Wonderland will finally be able to take control over those islands. This time's situation made the Immortal Island a sharing field among those big forces. The 9 sacred mountains in Immortal Island became the best place for cultivating for the new generation, and the islands that were originally controlled by Yang family were divided up by those forces, and the Evil Wonderland had the biggest benefits among them, taking up most of the divided islands. The Xia family, because they remained silent this whole time, didn't get any share of materials, and now the Evil Wonderland, after controlling those islands from the Yang family, became more powerful and already far surpassed Xia family. The Evil Wonderland morale was rising greatly. Since they've gone against the Yang family, there was no longer any scruples. After hearing that Yang Mu and the others went to the Chasm battlefield, without any hesitation, they sent out Xia Kuei, He Qing Man, and the other experts, trying to exterminate the Yang family new generation. Little sister, after seeing He Qing Man remain silent, Xia Kuei's face became ugly and he slightly shouted, reminding He Qing Man to pay attention to the situation. When in the Black Rock Island, Xia Kuei was quite dissatisfied with He Qing Man, who protected Shuryen, and after they left from there, they also quarreled several times and their relationship was greatly affected. After this incident with the Yang family, He Qing Man wasn't keen to deal with Yang family. When the Evil Wonderland wanted to send her to Sky Sea, she refused, but then she was forced to go by Evil Wonderland head. Xia Kuei knew that Shuryen had saved He Qing Man's life when they were inside the cave in the Black Rock Island, and also knew that Mo Duanhuan helped the He family, so He Qing Man didn't want to go against the Yang family. But Xia Kuei didn't think like that. He already thought that he was the next head of Evil Wonderland, so he naturally wanted to seek the greatest benefit for Evil Wonderland. Only by making Evil Wonderland more powerful would he be able to suppress the Xia family and get Xia Xinyan. Shuryen didn't come from Endless Sea, but from a remote place. His time spent in the Endless Sea is extremely short, and he is the one who was appointed by Yang Qingdi to enter the Yang family under Xia Kuei excoriate. He Qing Man helplessly told about Shuryen's origin. Shuryen only has the cultivation of the second sky of Disaster Realm, but even so, he can fight with Earth Realm warriors. This person has a lot of mysterious things and can't be underestimated. Gu Linglong grunted, "This man is indeed different. He only has the cultivation of the second sky of Disaster Realm, but he can withstand my full blow, and also, he practiced a very magical martial skill that can quietly lay out traps. This time we suffered heavy losses due to the trap arranged by him." "Shiryen," Chao Jilon murmured and nodded her head, softly saying, "After listening to you guys, it looks like this guy should be an interesting person. I hope that he won't disappoint me inside the Chasm battlefield." Xia family, inside a huge discussion hall. Many Xia family heads were gathered, and Xia Shenchuan was sitting on the throne, with a solemn look. Xia Xinyan was sitting gracefully under the throne, slightly frowning and quietly listening to Xia Shenchuan words. "Brother, the Yang family is finished. Why don't we join with the other forces? As long as we show that we are against the Yang family, we will also be able to take over some of those islands. The islands and forces that previously belonged to Yang family already can't do anything. We can easily get those islands which belong to Yang family," Xia Shenmo complained. Many Xia warriors also agreed with him and nodded. "As long as Yang Qingdi isn't dead, then don't say that the Yang family has perished," Xia Shenchuan sniffed. "Yang Qingdi has been running amok in the Endless Sea for many years and is very powerful. Even he is captured by Demon Seal Pattern. As long as he didn't die, the Yang family foundation is still solid. You also know Yang Qingdi's character. If one day he returned to Endless Sea, then accordance to his style, he would definitely deal with those people who dared to go against the Yang family. The Demon Seal Pattern from Demon King Qi Yan can even exterminate God Realm warriors, and now not only Qi Yan is guarding that Demon Seal Pattern, even Bo Sun is also guarding it, with those two Demon Kings teaming up. I don't believe that Yang Qingdi can escape from it. This time he would definitely die," Xia Shenmo quickly said. "The evil Wonderland has already reaped greatest benefit by getting 200 islands. The evil Wonderland has become more powerful than us. And now their power will only greatly increase. How can we deal with them in the future?" "Silence, these are father's words. You have other opinions?" Xia Shenchuan said with impatience. After hearing it, Xia Shenmo was immediately stunned and went silent for a moment. He slowly sat down and no longer said anything. "Xian Yan, don't go out for some time," Xia Shenchuan thought for a moment and said, "After you entered into the second sky of Earth Realm, there are more and more people coming to propose a marriage. Those people want to merge with our Xia family through marrying you. Especially the evil Wonderland, they already want to conquer the entire Kiara Sea. This time Xia Kuei has gone to the Sky Sea, and he may kill Shiryen, so you had better prepare in advance. If there is anything wrong with Shiryen, I will definitely kill Xia Kuei." Xia Xinyan eyes look indifferent, she lightly said. "And also, I don't think that Xia Kuei can succeed, even with his cultivation of the second sky of Earth Realm. I believe Shiryen can escape." Suddenly there was an uproar in Xia family. They thought that Xia Xinyan has probably got the cackle fever. "Just wait for it. In the future Shiryen will surpass all of the people in the power rankings in the new generation, and there will be no one who can beat him." Xia Xinyan didn't explain anymore, and leisurely stood up and indifferent left the discussion hall. "I'll be heading into closed-door cultivation. If Shiryen didn't return from the Chasm battlefield, then don't call me." Translated by Y. Chapter 223. The Chasm Battlefield. Chapter 223. The Chasm Battlefield. In an abandoned ancient wasteland with gray sky, no sun and moon, and barren natural auras, the gate of heaven was floating on a flat-like mirrored mountain summit. Shiryen was standing on that summit. As he looked around, he found that this entire world was covered with a layer of gray clouds. His spirit power was blocked by those gray clouds, and it was very difficult even to see several kilometers. When looking far ahead, there were many huge, unimaginably deep, swarthy pits. The river were dried up and there weren't any life signs, which made this place look like a dead land and gave a very dull feeling. "So this is the Chasm battlefield," Li Fenger gently sighed. "There is no sense of direction here, no sun, moon, and stars, barren natural auras." This place really is not suitable for cultivation for a warrior. In the ancient time, this place was a battlefield. Many powerful ancient warriors were here. Those ancient warriors left many secret treasures and magical martial skills in this chasm battlefield, but it is extremely difficult to get those treasures. From the time when the chasm battlefield appeared, a lot of endless sea warriors were buried in it. Many warriors who came here in search of those treasures, 9 out of 10 can't get out alive from here. This time, our journey to this chasm battlefield isn't to find those treasure, but to live. Yangmu frowned, looked dignified. I have been here before, so I can take you guys to a safer area. Look at that direction. The gray clouds are very thick there. There is an old palace in there. Inside the palace, there are many restrictions and barriers that have become invalid, so we can stay in there for some time. Li Fenger pointed to a direction, gently said, "Follow me. At least there is no danger before we arrive at that area." Yangmu nodded. "Yes, Fenger, you lead the way. We will leave mark on the way, so that those people who want to kill us know our direction." "No problem." Li Fenger chuckled and glanced at Shuryen, said, "Shuryen, inside here, you have to be honest. Remember to hear Uncle Jiang words. Uncle Jiang have a great understanding of barriers and restrictions and know some array method, so you can avoid a lot of danger." Shuryen looks indifferent and slowly nodded. "Xiaoyanzi, here's a magic ring. There's food and water inside it and also a bottle of restoration pills, which can help you quickly restore profound qi." Yangmu handed over a green ring inside the chasm battlefield. "It is difficult to find food and water. The natural auras inside here are also very barren. Once the profound qi loss is too huge, it will be very difficult to restore. There are 100 restoration pills inside. With the restoration pills, you can quickly recover after a fight." Shuryen received the magic ring, and when he looked at it, he immediately found that inside the ring there is a dimension as big as a house. Inside it, there are many food and water, and a white bottle was placed on the food, which probably contained the restoration pills. The magic ring can store items, and this ring is worth 1,000 best quality crystals in the Endless Sea. Only royalty rank blacksmiths can refine this item, so don't lose it. Yangmu smiled. Shuryen nodded. "And also, keep this sound stone. The usage is very simple. You just need to inject your profound qi into it, then speak into it. Then we can hear what you want to speak about from the sound stone." Yangmu continued to explain. "Inside the chasm battlefield, there are many strange restrictions. If we are careless, we may be separated. With this sound stone, even if we aren't in the same area, we still can communicate." Yes, as he grasped the stone and inject profound qi into it, the sound stone immediately shone with white light. Seems like there is a sound coming from the sound holes in the sound stone. Shuryen is a pervert. A clear and melodious sound suddenly came from the sound stone. This voice was clearly from Li Fenger, who was in the front, and which made Shuryen surprised. "Hehe, it's interesting, right?" Li Fenger, who has been 100 meters in the front, smiled back, and she also held a sound stone and waved highly toward Shuryen. Shuryen shook his head, lightly said, "Next time, don't be so loud. I'm very timid and afraid of being scared by you. Let's go. We will follow Fenger, so before we arrive at that palace, we should be safe." Yangmu smiled and thought for a moment. Then he used his hand to leave a line on a mark. "We went this way. Come if you dare." Yangmu. Shuryen looked at that line of words and didn't say anything, but in his heart, he really looked forward that Gu Linglong and the others can chase over. He faintly felt that he only need an epiphany before he can enter the Earth realm. In his view, Gu Linglong, Panja, and the others were the natural elixir in this chasm battlefield and also a whetstone to sharpen himself. Through these people, maybe he would be able to gain an insight and enter in the Earth realm. He, who is combative, definitely won't fear the chase from Gu Linglong and the others. Instead, he's secretly excited. Li Fenger took the lead and led the warrior team from the summit, heading toward the direction where the gray clouds were very thick. Yangmu, Yang Ke, and Yang Shui followed, and Shuryen, who was at the last, constantly analyzed the situation. Soon, the group came down from the summit and looked back at the gate of heaven that was in the summit. Shuryen suddenly said, "Do we need to come back here if we want to go back?" "Yes, The gate of heaven in here is very bright, so we can see the gate of heaven from far away. In the Chasm battlefield, there isn't any sun, moon, and stars, so the light from this gate of heaven is the light that leads the way. Normally, we can see this light inside the 100-li radius. If we remember the direction, then it isn't too difficult. Li Fenger stopped and explained to the crowd. Shuryen nodded and no longer said anything, quietly followed behind Li Fenger. He silently went into the blood vein ring and shows a friendly and gentle feeling toward the 10,000 years core fire to maintain the friendly relationship between him and the core fire. At the war with Gu Linglong, if the core fire hadn't suddenly released its fire power, then he wouldn't be able to get rid of the 7 swords that invaded his body. The help from the core fire at the critical moment really made him very grateful, and thus his feeling to core fire greatly increased. Inside the blood vein ring, after converging with the core fire, Shuryen immediately felt a feeling of joy from the core fire. Aware of Shuryen's arrival, the core fire was very happy. It used its consciousness to wrap Shuryen's thought and entangled with it inside the light, like a child fawning on their parent. A surging soul force came out from the light. Shuryen clearly felt that the core fire soul seems to be changing, become more and more intelligent and powerful. As if, not long in the future, its evolution will be complete, and it can possess a complete soul of Skyfire. The evolution of the core fire was already in the final step. As long as his life form formed, then the core fire already can be called as a Skyfire, having more powerful divine ability and becoming more intelligent. After converging with the core fire for a while, Shuryen drew back his consciousness and talked to the ice-cold flame. I have arrived in the Chasm battlefield. The Chasm battlefield, the ice-cold flame immediately replied, "What are you doing here? This is a very dangerous place. With your current cultivation, you will only die in this Chasm battlefield. Inside the Chasm battlefield, the natural auras are very barren and also don't suit your cultivation, so why did you come here? How much do you know about the Chasm battlefield?" "Not really," the ice-cold flame think for some time. "I haven't been here before, so I didn't understand the Chasm battlefield, but I got some memories from the guy who has come to the Chasm battlefield, and even into the depths of the Chasm battlefield. He had the cultivation of Spirit Realm, and was trapped in a restriction for 300 years, almost dying there. After he got out from the restriction, he immediately left the Chasm battlefield and wasn't able to gain anything from here, so I know very little about this place." "Okay, I got it," Shuryen nodded. "Pay some attention. Maybe there is another Skyfire in here. If you feel its presence, remember to tell me immediately." "Another Skyfire?" The ice-cold flame slightly excited. "My kind. Interesting. It has been some time since I met my own kind. Hope that I can meet with it here. Do you want to run into it?" "Of course. Maybe its element is the same as me, and we can evolve together." But there is also a possibility where it want to devour me. Between the Skyfire, most of us can devour each other. Once the devouring finishes, the victor will gain more power and become more intelligent. Your strength is being limited by the blood vein ring, so if you run into another Skyfire, you definitely will suffer." "Yeah, but if it dares to come into the blood vein ring, maybe it also will be captured by the blood vein ring. Your ring is very mysterious. It even can shackle life forms like us. It can bind me, so probably it's the same with another Skyfire." Shuryen became startled. The gate of heaven in the Chasm battlefield flashed. Panja, Chao Jilon, Gu Linglong, Xia Kuei, and hundreds of Earth Realm warriors came out from the gate of heaven one by one. Looked up at the gray sky. Panja, looking serious, lightly shouted, "Finally, we are here. We went this way, come if you dare." Yang Mu, Xia Kuei looked sullen, read out the words on the ground and sneered. "Looks like they are seeking death. They even dared to take the initiative to leave traces. The Yang family is really arrogant." "Great," Gu Linglong bite her teeth. "Looks like we don't have to search for them now. The demon beasts can't enter the Chasm battlefield. This time I want to see how the Yang family can escape." "Don't need to be afraid of Yang Mu and the others. As long as we can catch up, then they definitely can't escape." Panja frowned, reminding everyone. "But inside the Chasm battlefield, there are many dangerous restrictions, so you guys need to be more careful." Don't die inside the restriction. As long as you guys follow me, I can guarantee your safety. Chao Zhilan smiled indifferently. My martial spirit has the greatest advantage in this chasm battlefield. Any restriction, barrier, or array needs the power to support it. So I can find out the exact location of danger and can ensure that you guys will not fall into it. After she said that, everyone looked delighted. Chapter 224, Meteor Array. Chapter 224, Meteor Array. Sponsored by Jenilyn Badiola, Sai Puklupti, and K. Eisenman. The 9 broken palaces, held by stone pillars, stood in a field of white bones. Each palace was like a small mountain. There were already many pillars broken among those 9 palaces. 3 of them didn't even have any stone pillars for support. It appeared that they will collapse at any time. Damn, there must be a lot of people who came here before. These bones are very clean. Even their clothes are stripped with nothing left. Yang Ke shook his head and complained loudly as he walked around inside one of the palaces and didn't find anything from those bones. After Shi Yan came, even he didn't move. He already knew that there wasn't any treasure here. Of course, I already told you guys that you won't get anything in here, Li Feng'er frowned. The restrictions and barriers inside the palaces have already disappeared. If we can enter it, of course, the others can too. How could there be something left for you? The last time I came here, I'd also carefully checked, but still couldn't find anything. If you can find something, that would be very strange. Yeah, it's very safe in here, so there must be nothing here. Yang Mu nodded, searched for a while and said, I think Panja and the others will arrive soon. This place is quite wide, so it's pretty good to fight. Yeah, the problem is we don't know how many people they have with them. If there are too many and they came all together, then it will be very difficult to kill them. Let's make our retreat path first. Yang Shui hesitated for a bit. If they are too many and we are in a disadvantageous situation, then we need to withdraw immediately from here. Then we will find another chance to fight them. Anyway, this chasm battlefield is very deep, and also we need to stay here for 3 years, so we don't really have to fight with them. These 9 palaces are also a magical array, but this array is already damaged and didn't function properly. Jiang Huchuan pondered for a moment, said, It's easy to pass through these 9 palaces. The gray clouds over there are very thick. And they have a very unusual energy flow. I believe that there is some restriction in there, but we need to pass from there if we want to retreat. So the area that is dangerous for us is also a threat for them too. Shi Yan looked at the area where the gray clouds were very thick. When he released his consciousness, he couldn't find any signs of life, but can feel a very strange energy flow in there. As if the restriction has already been operating, waiting for someone to fall into it. Let's make sure of our retreat path first. Yang Mu nodded towards Jiang Huchuan. Yeah, I will take a look first. Jiang Huchuan headed towards that direction alone. After looking at the area of the gray clouds, he hesitated for a while, then said toward Yang Mu, You guys don't come in first. I will take a look first to ensure there is no danger there. After that, I will call you. After saying that, Jiang Huchuan entered into the depth. After he stepped into it, his figure immediately disappeared. As if he stepped into another world, even his presence also disappeared. Shi Yan's face slightly changed. After he quietly used his consciousness to look, he found that there was no sign of life from Jiang Huchuan. Secretly frightened, Shi Yan realized that this chasm battlefield was really strange, and he immediately became cautious. After some time, Jiang Huquang came out miserably, with his body full of dust and messy hair. He seemed to have experienced a disaster. How is it? Yang Mu quickly asked. Meteor Array. The moment I entered, suddenly there were huge meteorites falling over. Those meteorites were very dense and big, and the impact from the meteorites is also very huge. If we want to pass through, we must face the attack from those meteorites. If we are careless, we will be smashed by those meteorites. Jiang Huchuan looked grimly. Is there any way to break it? Li Feng'er asked. I haven't found it yet. I need to recover first, then I will enter again to find it. Jiang Huchuan shook his head, quietly sat down and ate 3 restoration pills. This place is really dangerous. Looks like it really isn't easy to survive in this chasm battlefield, Yang Ku exclaimed. Yeah, in this chasm battlefield, there are countless restrictions and barriers. It is more difficult to deal than our pursuers. Yang Mu also looked grimly. After Jiang Huchuan recovered for a while, he stood up and entered again. After some time, he came out miserably again, but this time there was a trace of blood came out from his mouth. It seemed like he had been hit by those meteorites. After coming out, Jiang Huchuan didn't speak anything and once again took the restoration pills and continued to recover. Shi Yan and the others didn't say anything, just quietly watched Jiang Huchuan. After entering 2 times, Jiang Huchuan became more and more miserable. He who understood arrays very well became like this. Then, if there was someone who didn't understand array and entered recklessly, then it definitely would be difficult to come out alive from there. The Meteor Array was one of the arrays that they encountered inside the chasm battlefield, and Jiang Huchuan, who had the cultivation of Earth Realm and a deep knowledge toward arrays, became so miserable. Then, did they still need to pass through from there? Looks like this chasm battlefield isn't so easy to stay, Yang Mu slightly sighed. I have always heard the strange rumors about it before, but I didn't believe some of it, and felt that those rumors may exaggerate the dangerous at the chasm battlefield. But now I know that those rumors were true. If I didn't experience it myself, I really can't imagine it. Well, Shi Yan smiled, lightly said, the more dangerous this place is, then it will be more advantage to us. Even we will die, then those people will also face the same problem as us. I think their overall strength should be stronger than us, which also mean, at here, they will suffer greater losses. Yeah, that's why we are here, Yang Shui nodded, because this place is really dangerous. It will be very difficult to deal with us. As they were speaking, Jiang Huchuan opened his eyes. Uncle Jiang, how is it? Yang Ku quickly asked. Shaking his head, Jiang Huchuan looked grim. I controlling the array, but there are many ancient letters on it. Even I didn't recognize those ancient letters. If I didn't understand the meaning of those letters, then it will be very difficult for me to find a way to break it. Ancient letters? Shi Yan was surprised for a moment, then immediately he asked, what kind of ancient text? It should be cuneiform letters from the ancient time, primary used on arrays and restrictions. Only array master from the ancient times understood these ancient letters. In our time now, there is almost no one who has knowledge about these ancient letters. Jiang Huchuan sighed. Even my teacher can't recognize these ancient letters, and I'm even worse. Then what should we do? Yang Ku was stunned. If we couldn't understand those ancient texts, then we will never be able to break this array, right? Before I understand the meaning of those ancient letters, I definitely won't act recklessly, otherwise it will be more dangerous. Jiang Huchuan nodded helplessly. Can you write down the ancient letters that you saw? Shi Yan suddenly said. Everyone was surprised and looked strangely at Shi Yan. They didn't know why he suddenly said that. Xiao Yanzi, what do you want to do? Yang Mu was stunned. He asked, could it be that you understand letters from ancient time? Only some, but I don't know if those ancient letters are the one that I know. Shi Yan nodded. What? You really know it? Li Feng'er immediately shook her head as she couldn't believe it. You're not kidding, right? Even Uncle Zhang's teacher couldn't recognize all of it. Do you really know it? Uncle Zhang, just write them down for me, Shi Yan insisted. Jiang Huchuan was also confused. He pondered for a moment and said, there are only a few letters that I saw on the array's eye, so I still remembered them. I just don't know what it means. If you want to see, I will show it to you. Jiang Huchuan crouched, held a dagger, and depicted 6 strange letters. Arrival, rest, fire, wind, life, death. Shi Yan pointed at the ancient letters on the ground and read it word by word. That is all. Fortunately, I recognize all of it. Everyone was stunned. You aren't talking nonsense, right? Li Feng'er exclaimed. Yang Mu, Yang Ke, and the others also showed an expression of disbelief. Their eyes were odd, and they doubted if Shi Yan really recognized those letters or not. Master Yan, is it really these letters? Jiang Huchuan looked startled, suddenly stood up and his eyes flashed. I can't be wrong. Shi Yan nodded, Before I was 17 years old, I had a great interest towards ancient text, and fortunately I recognized those letters, so I can be certain that it is these 6 letters. I will enter again. Jiang Huchuan pondered for a moment, suddenly said, "This time I will try moving the array eyes. If the message that Master Yan gave to me is right, then I think I can break this array. But if the message is wrong, I think I won't come back again." Jiang Huchuan looked at Shuryen deeply, seemed like he was waiting for something. Everyone's face changed as they heard the meaning from Jiang Huchuan words and looked at Shuryen again. "I definitely am not wrong." Under the looks from everyone, Shuryen calmly replied, "Don't worry, Uncle Jiang, I won't harm you. These 6 letters absolutely aren't wrong." "All right." Jiang Huchuan replied. He no longer hesitated and entered into the restriction again. Xiao Yanzi, Yang Mu lightly said. It seemed like he wanted to say something, but eventually he shook his head, smiled wryly, and didn't said the following words. "I know what you guys are worried about." Shuryen looked indifferent and grinned. "Brother, did you see me as a man who acts recklessly?" Yang Mu immediately shook his head. "That's right, rest assured. Uncle Jiang definitely will be okay," Shuryen comforted them. "There is someone coming. Pretty quick, though," Li Fenger shouted. "Don't know when." She already stood on a broken stone pillar and looked at far away. Her face gradually changed. "Panja, Gu Linglong, Chao Jilan, Xia Kue, He Chi Man." "Xia Kue, He Chi Man." Yang Mu eyes suddenly became cold. He sneered. "The evil wonderland is really audacious to deal with us, young family. At this time they really have no scruples." "He Chi Man also came?" Yang Shui eyes became cold and he angrily said, "I can't believe she is also involved in this." "I know that the relationship between you and her is quite good," Yang Mu sighed, "but at this time, no matter how good the relationship is, it is the same. If this girl is only pretending, then we don't need to fight with her. But if she really want to kill us, don't give her mercy. I know what to do." Yang Mu took a deep breath and nodded. Translated by Wai. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.